All right, everybody, welcome to another live episode of Mental Theater. We have our Avengers in the building. How is everybody?
Good,
Doing-
man.
What's up, guys?
Mr. Urban World is early in the building. Okay, I see you. And just wanted to give a shout out to all the mothers as well for tomorrow on Mother's Day. So shout out to Sandy Cheeks as well and all the other lovely ladies in your life who happen to be mothers or motherly figures. Let's say.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
So the first topic that we want to get into right away, of course, is the Black Superman and this potential. Now, I know, Miguel, you have your reservations about it, which I deeply understand. However, I do think it might have a positive outcome. What do you think?
I think if the Black Superman was playing the Black Superman that they already have, Calvin Ellis, it's fine. But to have him playing Kal-El in turn Clark Kent, I think it's like, why have him play, the Superman that's already there when there is a Superman who is black that they can have him play. That's where I think the problem lies. You're just taking a white character and making him black instead of using an already established black superhero or even whoever, Static Shock, Black Adam, or whatever like that, to make a black superhero movie. So that part I don't really like.
Why?
I don't, because they're black Superman already and black superheroes already. So why just take the white character and make him black? I feel like that's kind of just like a token almost, per se. So
I would actually have to respectfully agree, because how would we feel if they, not that this would ever happen, but what would happen if they recast T'Challa with someone who was white? It really wouldn't make sense at all.
Well, I mean, are there rumors that it's going to be Clark Kent is going to be black?
yes, there are rumors. It's been official. He's going to be
I
Kal-El.
haven't seen. Oh, okay. It's official that it's going to be Clark Kent.
Well, Kal-El is Clark Kent or whatnot.
Yeah, I'm imagining Clark Kent kind of being like Urkel and Superman being kind of like Stefan.
Oh, all right. So they okay. That makes sense. So, who's the black Superman? Because I thought that's what it was going to be. Like, I thought they were looking for a person of color to represent the black Superman, not Clark Kent.
They said that initially, but now the newest stuff that came out is that he will officially be actually Kal-El, the same son of Krypton that we all know, but just a black version and whatnot.
I mean, I'm okay with it. Like, I'm interested to see how it plays out and like what they're gonna do. I mean, since it's like, I don't know, I'm for it. Like, let's see what's gonna happen. I'm gonna see it, and I think people are gonna see it either way. And honestly, he might just replace the old Superman. Like, he might change the face of Superman moving forward forever. And I would be okay with that.
But see, that's where the catch-22 or the double standard, I guess, right? For the other show, because it's like, what if it was a white Blade, right, or a white, like you said, Panther or whatever? You know what I'm saying? I think that would be an uproar or whatnot.
It would be an uproar, but I mean, it depends on if it was good or not. Like,
it'd be an uproar because of the continuity issues first before the race.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So as long as the continuity issues are resolved, and I'm curious to see how it could be resolved with a black Superman. That'll be interesting. But again, there's no, I guess, is there any precedent saying that with all the aliens you have in the comic verse that they have to be of white descent? That, to me, that sounds like a logistics, in terms of acting, the same way that they would, use people of Caucasian descent to show Egyptians. That's just acting. But now we're in a period where we can see that, racism is an issue, but more specifically, people of all races and creeds. And Miguel, you know how many people in our community have acting chops. So that's why I'm like, it's a possibility.
I'm not saying it'll be a bad movie and whatnot.
Oh, no. I know that. I just think I agree with you that there should be some continuity, but I agree with Chloé as well, saying that there should be there could be a precedent, and not just to do it just so that they're black, but to do it because there are people who may have an opportunity to play that role. Like, how many people would love for Idris to have the opportunity to play James Bond? I think he would be a great job, and it'd be again, it's you have the ability to create this type of universe. Maybe because they're trying to go into the multiverse now, especially with Batman and whatnot. So we'll see what's actually going to happen. And especially,
but can you go the other way though? Right, especially in this day and age, and
Mm.
make a white character black. I mean, I'm sorry, a black character white.
They've
That's
been
known
doing that forever, Mike. That's old news.
Where?
Blackface.
And what comic?
Blackface. Y'all remember that?
That was a white. Okay, that was a clown or whatever. I'm talking about like
no, it wasn't a clown. It was white people who had blackface to play black people, play black characters.
correct, but I'm talking about already established black characters in the comic world, or even whatever whatever you want to call it, or Shaft, even like that, something like that. Like, can I be a white Shaft or whatever? I'm saying, like, would there not be enough more? Like
so that's fair. So I guess my question would be: is Miles Morales in the comics at all?
Yes.
And he black.
So yes.
And
DC has resolved this issue as well, as Miguel said.
That's the other way. Still, it's a white character becoming black. Can it go the opposite way? Can a white character take over a black role or whatever?
Why not?
Okay.
I mean, the thing is, they're going to do what sells, and right now they're moving towards diversity versus against it. So, I mean, I think we'll see a lot of predominantly white characters turning to people of color, because that's an accurate representation of the landscape. Like,
and absolutely. And that adds on to the point I was saying before, because before it was definitely more predominantly white males, right? That's just the reality.
Well, everywhere on TV, like not even a long time ago. If you think about when we were kids, how many black characters were on TV, period? Like, and then we came out with black show. Like, you know what I mean? Hey Arnold had one black character. Like
Gerald.
Power Rangers had one black character. Or then
Rugrats had who?
My girl Susie. Yes. And and Susie.
And in the beginning, she came like the third season, by the way. So
exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's like they were, Hollywood had this misrepresentation of the public and who spends their money. So I think that it's going to be a lot more people of color taking these predominantly white roles moving forward, or like like how Miles Morales did it, where they're working together, and then he takes the mantle and keeps going.
I mean, in fairness, we didn't really spend our money at the movies back then, but now we do more stuff like that.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? And it'd be interesting if they have a surprise comic that's going to coincide with the movie release.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But let's go back to my original problem. It wasn't really the fact they changed it, because they did it already in the comics, but it's the fact there is a black Superman. So maybe he'll be, I don't know, maybe they'll change it, but the Calvin Ellis, right? Calvin Ellis, the black Superman, he lived in like Brooklyn or whatever, like that, like walking the regular streets or whatever. He wasn't like on a. Go ahead.
No, that's a great point, Miguel. But the way it would be done in Hollywood, right? So you would have Calvin Ellis, which is you still have Kal-El in the name, right? So imagine he was Kal-El, but his alter ego is Calvin Ellis.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They can't. They could do that, but right now the way it's coming off, like the son of Jor-El is Kal-El. I'm just hoping it's not. He's got a black mom named Martha living on a farm or whatever. You know what I mean? That'd be like, see, now we just.
Okay, I see what you mean. Create its own story, because there is its own story to tell. I agree.
Correct. That's all I'm saying. I'm fine with the black Superman, but just create it. Let's not mirror the story, just make them black.
But I think that they're going to do that anyway, because like, how many times can the original Superman story be told? Like, everyone knows that storyline.
That's true.
So it's like, and it's been told a million times by different.
That's true.
So in different ways, like even on regular TV, Smallville. So like, this is going to be a completely, I would think it's going to be the other storyline.
Especially if they're hoping to be competitive with Marvel, this is their opportunity to show what they're capable of. And I think this is a great way to do that. I think Zack Snyder really got some more people on board. Just even with interest and intrigue in taking DC seriously, especially since The Dark Knight.
Well, speaking of that, good segue. How would you feel about a black Batman, since you're a big Batman fan, Josh?
Yes, let's do it.
Well, technically, wasn't there one with at one point was it Deadshot? Was black? I think he was black man. Excuse me, a black Batman, the first one in the comics, I believe.
Okay, but on the screen, I'm saying, like, if he was playing Bruce Wayne, even, like, how would you feel about that?
It would have to be, but you would have to have the type of continuity. So instead of Gotham, we would have to have a kind of like a Harlem Renaissance version.
Okay, all right, okay, I got you. Okay.
And you got just like how you had with Luke Cage and whatnot. You just have
Harlem,
to set the scene. What are the parameters that'll make it fit, right? Logically, in terms of continuity, but also in terms of, you know, just having it more realistic. Because I agree, if it's unless it's in the future, like a future Gotham where the Waynes would be prominent and black, which could be a possibility, right? That's also a possibility as well. There's many ways you can go. And also, let me read out Mr. Urban because he's going ham in there. I think Superman should have stayed black. We already have a black Superman in DC. His name is Icon. His story is exactly the same as Superman's. That's interesting. Okay. He enters Superman's universe and punched Superman so hard that Superman told him he has never been hit like that in a day in his life. Interesting. Superman gets his energy from the sun, which is interesting because so do we. That's just interesting. But Icon can generate
generate his
within his body. That's interesting. And shake my head. What I'm saying above, I meant to say Superman should have stayed white. I've never seen a black guy turn white on any movie, but it would be a different story. As we said, that's like having Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon as a white character in 2021. Well, we made that example with T'Challa. Also, Spider-Man was never turned black because Miles Morales is in another universe. So they both exist. They're trying to replace Superman completely. Fat Albert, Gerald, Little Bill, Penny Proud, Susie Rugrats, Black Chick from Kids Next Door, Vincent from Recess, Static Shock, the PJs, Token from South Park.
We ain't talking about the PJs. That was
Black Chick from Daria.
There was no black chick in Daria. She was like Spanish or something.
I don't remember
black chick in Daria. I don't remember no black chick in Daria.
And again, that's all that is fair. But this could also be a misdirect.
Exactly. I think that
because you see the uproar.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But I need a black Superman and I need a black Batman. Let's go.
Now, just out of sheer curiosity, who would be your choice to play the black Superman? The one I think who would do it the best is already in the DC as Manta, which is the gentleman who was the
yeah, he would be
actor
good.
and Watchmen. And because I don't want to give it away, I won't say who he is. But this gentleman, I think he would play very well.
Yeah, I don't know if they can use him though. Dominicans are black too. She was black. That's for you.
They don't act like they black when I go get my hair done. I'm gonna just say that they make it very clear that they are not black.
I agree with you on that too. But that's a whole other conversation.
That it is. So the current conversation is if you could take it seriously, and it could be in any storyline you want, the one that actually follows the comics, the one that probably has a merge of the comics and real life. I think that would be cool as well. So who would be an actor that you would take seriously for the role?
First, Superman or Batman?
Superman first.
Man, I gotta think about that.
I need to go look at my my list of black actors.
I need there to be a certain type of like Henry Cavill, right? It's perfect, right? We all know that, right? So I need to be like a black guy like that. The guy you chose, I think, will be pretty good too. Got to be a certain age, a certain build, a certain demonstrative, I think, look.
What about Winston Duke?
He would have to lose a little weight and whatnot. He's gonna be a little too big, but yeah, if he lost some weight, got more sculpted and lost some weight, he could do it. I could see that actually, and whatnot. He got that size too.
And the original rumor started with Michael B. Jordan.
I would say he's a little small, but he can pull it off with the camera tricks and stuff like that.
Right.
So not really. I mean, the acting wise, he will pull off the whole acting of it. It's a great story. He's a good actor. By the way, speaking of that, I haven't even finished Without Remorse yet because it's not that great. I watched the first half, but I'm with Chloé. It's just only okay or whatever. So
I mean, I completely understand that. I feel like this is a result of the genre, which is Tom Clancy, but that's just me. And entertainment usually it plays out better in books than it does on entertainment.
I was just saying, but I did love Jodie Turner-Smith's character in the movie as another black actress and stuff like that. And I think her as his sergeant or whatever, I think she's dope. I like her.
She did. The acting was good. Like I said, the acting was good. The action was good. The storyline was trash.
Yeah, she needs her own like movie, I think, or whatever. Like she's just really good. But that's another story. And another off topic, because we were talking about Dora and Rugrats, stuff like that. There's a great documentary on Hulu about Nickelodeon from called The Orange Years that talks about their whole development, and they detail every single show, including Rugrats. So just want to throw that out there because I watched the whole thing. So it's weird.
Very cool.
Mr. Everwell, I'm glad we got this black talk off our chest before Anthony brings his right wing views over. Oh,
he's a cowboy.
He's a whole cowboy. He's a black cowboy.
Cowboy, it's hilarious. Yeah. So if you grew up watching Nickelodeon, you would love that. But that's another story. I can't think of it right now, Josh. Like exactly who I would, think. I will have to, take some time. I'll get back to you on that one.
Absolutely. And then as we segue to Batman, did anyone get a chance to see the clip they had?
Yeah, with the about Catwoman and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched it.
Can you play it for us?
Absolutely not, because it'll get flagged.
Oh. Can you give us a brief synopsis?
Absolutely. So it gave some, behind the scenes looks at the Batman, which is already, has a lot of anticipation about it. So I can't wait. I know Selena Kyle, especially with Zoe Kravitz playing that, is going to be a very complex character. It's going to be interesting. And apparently, Miguel, it does take place in the same universe as Joker. And this is going to be Batman in year 2. So what I appreciate about this is that essentially it's going to be, it's going to be seeing Batman on his come up, right? So he doesn't have the Batcave. His gear is kind of like, oh, I just bought it, at Dick's Sporting Goods, and I'm coming out here right now. So we get to see him come up and level up, and how when you're a superhero and you're just starting, especially if you're human, right, Tony, just a mortal, then you have to have certain logistical precautions for doing something like this. So I can't wait to see how, he's gonna have to make a lot of mistakes, like a ton of mistakes. And he's going against the Riddler as well. So I think that would be a great warm up for, later in his career when he would be facing people like the Joker. So I do appreciate that as well. And I love how it's going to be connected to the Gotham PD show, which is going to take place a year before in Batman Year 1. So I think Matt Reeves is building a very cool Batverse, if you will.
And HBO Max too. Shouts out to them and Warner Brothers and stuff like that. I think it's going to be cool. I think that I think Matt Reeves knows what he's doing. I like the whole look of it. Also, don't forget about Penguin by Colin Farrell, who's going to be in the movie as well. And I like that they're showing like the mobster version of Penguin. Trust me. Dan DeVito did a great job in Batman too, but he was more cartoonish and stuff like that.
Right.
But I like this mobster version of him. And if you look at the Penguin, Colin Farrell, you can't even tell it's Colin Farrell. So the makeup artist, like everything they did is great. I feel like that, like you said, the whole year 2 aspect, like you said, the boots are like regular fucking boots for like rain gear or something like that. Don't even look like they're like, hero outfit or something like that. So I feel like it's gonna be a good mystery along with the heroic journey that we're gonna be taking on. And I feel like waiting until next year is also great because they're really waiting until it's really enough eyes to be able to go to the theater and see it and stuff like that. So I feel like that's also a good idea. So.
Absolutely. And I can't wait to see how the citizens of Gotham react to Bats, because at this point he's just like a rumor or a joke or a scam, on the back page of the newspaper. No one actually takes it serious. So like, imagine living in a Gotham is kind of like a New York City, massive metropolitan city, right? So it's like having, a vigilante in New York. Like if you in present day, if you heard of a vigilante in New York, you'd be like, man, get out of here. They don't know what they're doing. They about to do some dumb stuff. This is how Batman is being perceived. So you have people who believe in him. Some people think it's a rumor. Other people, of course, have witnessed him, probably saved their lives or whatever. and they're like, "Oh, thanks, Batman," but no one else will believe him. So he's at that stage. So I think it's a great storyline, and I see why Robert Pattinson signed up for this version of Batman.
All right, can I go on a tangent for 2 seconds?
Take your time.
There was this meme. It was this meme. I think Josh shared it. It was in our group chat, but it was like, if superheroes really like existed, how would people react to them?
Oh yeah, from the stage.
It's like, oh man, I just paid that car off, and then like Batman.
Oh, I saw that.
He's like, he destroyed every single building except for the one I work at. I gotta go in tomorrow. I was like, yo, that's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
So it just made me think about that. Like, if there was a Batman flying around New York, I think people would not like him. He'd probably be doing the most. Because, you know, there's a lot of collateral damage that comes with being a hero. It's like, you don't think about those people.
I definitely agree, but I would also say more so for Marvel characters, they probably cause more damage. With Hulk and Thor.
But listen, right? With Hulk and Thor, those are actual, like, aliens. So I think that people would appreciate them, and they'd be like, well, you know, get the superhero insurance for your car, because there's like aliens attacking. But like Batman just fighting regular bad guys, like the army could do that,
but they won't. So Batman,
I actually am surprised though at this day and age with all the type of first of all, like all the type of gear you can buy and technology, and that people who have that mindset, you know, a little bit crazy or whatever, that we haven't had some vigilante like in like New York or somewhere,
because
like stop crime.
Because there's Secret Service who puts a halt to all of that before it goes down. You feel me? Like, it's people that's watching and listening that see if somebody crazy and want to do some Joker type stuff, and they get stopped before they even get to do it. So, you know, Batman, I don't know. I think if it was a choice between Superman blowing stuff up with his laser eyes or Batman, I don't know, because then Superman could turn bad too. Did he turn bad in one episode? I mean, in one season?
Yeah, he does turn bad. Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. We don't need any of that in real life, but Batman.
I mean, a Superman, yeah, but a Batman's the guy in a suit, so I can see a guy.
Really, so it's like he's the less of a threat to the humanity. However, is he really saving that many people? Like in order for you to like him, he would have to impact you personally. But if you just see him on the news flying around.
Well, this is my point. Usually Batman kind of just focuses on the criminals. He's not like saving people falling out the sky like Spider-Man, right? So his work is done at night where the criminals are doing the criminal activity on the criminal property. So technically the only property he's ruining is the criminal property. And he, again, studied with ninjas and samurais. The element of surprise is all about stealth, and then you attack. So that's minimal damage, in and out, and you're gone.
But it's not like criminality is subjective, right? So Superman is basically like judge and juror. Batman. I mean, not Superman, Batman. So he's just like, oh, these look like some bad guys. Let me go over there and beat them up. Like, meanwhile, I'm just a bread delivery dude who got paid $100 to bring this package.
Nah,
I didn't know what was going on.
That's not how Bats works. He is a master detective.
Mm-hmm. So he know everybody's backstory when he go in there.
He's
getting everybody down and breaking legs and limbs.
Which is why you don't have a real life Batman type of character, because the amount of money you would need to have that level of technology to keep you safe and keep you off of social media, it would be astronomical, and it'd be easy to figure out who it was.
So it's like you have to suspend your reality or beliefs. What is it? Suspension of belief? Because how do you know? How do they don't know that that's Batman? Like, I don't know. I feel like if it was a Batman and you're in his circle, you know who he is. He don't disguise his voice that well. It's like Obama putting on a Batman outfit. Like, I know your voice.
I mean, yeah. But Josh makes a good point though, because we always forget he is a guy in a suit, but he's also like a trillionaire. So he's got a lot of different technology to help him out and stuff like that. He has
technology, but he also is on that status where people Blank Man, yes, Blank. I need to watch that movie again. That was
so good. It's so
that was a really good movie. Why do we never talk about Blank Man? Thank you for bringing that up, Mr. Everworld, because that was a great movie. He did have all the gadgets, and he was poor.
Yeah, he was. He was. He didn't get paid
And then
after he helped somebody out. Right.
that's more realistic. He wasn't fighting aliens. He was just being, you know, a
And that other comment about Jupiter Legacy, I watched the preview, Mr. Openworld, but I haven't actually. I do want to watch. I heard it's really, really good, so I want to check it
What's
out.
that? What's Jupiter's Legacy?
It's a new superhero show on Netflix that just came out based off a comic book. So.
Is that the one that's a cartoon? Everybody making memes out of it.
You think about
Invincible.
Oh, Invincible.
Yeah.
I need to watch that because I don't understand the memes, and I'm sure they're pretty funny. If I watch the show.
Yeah, this was another one based off another I guess independent comic team, whatever like that. But I heard it's pretty good. So
okay. The first he had all the gadgets. The first fight scene looks like a movie.
Yeah, and back to your Dust, and to your question, Josh. Selena Kyle, I heard they're really like going into more her origin as well. Like her is just a cat burglar before she's Catwoman and stuff like that. So that's how she got the name, whatever. So,
I love Catwoman.
Yeah, well, except for Halle Berry's Catwoman, that was trash. But I mean, it was what it was.
She's pretty when she was doing it. I wanted to be Catwoman.
I mean,
little girl.
I didn't view it as a comic book film, to be honest. I never did, especially with Halle Berry in it. But that's just me.
That's true.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't think she was even set in like the Batman world. She was just like Catwoman, but she was. Yeah, and she was fighting a lady based off of like makeup products, something like that. It was like weird, but anyway, this Catwoman, Zoe Kravitz, I think she's going to be pretty dope. And Catwoman is one that they do. Back to the other conversation, that they do race switch all the time, right? Because it was Michelle Pfeiffer, Halle Berry, now Zoe Kravitz. It goes back and forth, whatever like that. So
and Hathaway,
I forgot. Yeah, between Anne Hathaway. So yeah, and that kind of works for the Catwoman. So.
And perhaps it'll work for Superman. I guess we'll see. It's in DC.
We'll see. Listen, I'm watching everything that come out comic wise, so I'm into it. I just got to see how they do it, but I don't know. Like I like the Rock's playing Black Adam, like I said, like he's a black already character that works or whatever like that. I guess my point is, why can't we just get our own black superheroes that we already have or whatnot? Because there are black superheroes or whatnot. Like I think if they did Luke Cage as a Disney Plus show or movie,
we too grown for them.
But why though? Or whatever. Look at the Dark Knight. That's grown as hell. Like,
I think she's saying for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Well, not Disney Plus. Okay, for a movie though, if they can do it, I think it'd be dope or whatever. So
I think they're only going to do movies that they can put on Disney Plus moving forward.
Well, no, they got to do that. Because they got to do Deadpool 3, which is going to be crazy with curse words, stuff like that, and Blade as well. And whatnot. It's probably gonna wind up going on Hulu. Remember Disney on Hulu too.
Oh yeah, they did merge.
Yeah.
I wonder if Daredevil's gonna go on Hulu as well.
Oh man, I love Daredevil. So, like Tony is so wrong about those shows on Netflix. Daredevil was so good, like, and it didn't even, like I said, doesn't need a big budget because he's another guy in his pajamas. He doesn't really, have like all these crazy powers going on or whatnot. So it's a good show.
Well, Luke Cage was also low budget, and it was really good.
Luke Cage was low budget because he has power, so it made it look more low budget. So, like I said, a movie would be better for him. But Daredevil, he's just a guy doing karate. Like it's not really like he's shooting any lasers or he's not bulletproof like Luke Cage or whatever like that.
He don't got the CGI bullets bouncing off him.
No.
I can honestly see Luke Cage popping up in Phase 5. As when they expand to the new Avengers, because he was one of the new Avengers as well eventually. So I think it's going to be one of those alien invasions, and they're going to call out to the Inhumans at that time, which would be more developed, the mutants, people like Luke Cage to come out, perhaps Jessica Jones, and you never know, right? To come out and also assist as Earth is being attacked, things like that.
Can't stand that character.
Jessica Jones?
I really don't like her. I don't.
What? Jessica Jones was a good show too.
It's not. It's so cheesy, and it makes me want to throw up.
What was cheesy for you?
Because everything. Like I tried to watch it, and I'm just like, this is silly.
I'm surprised, honestly, that you don't like Jessica Jones. But
and then they tried to put her and Luke Cage in the same situation. I'm like, nah, bruh. She was mad nosy.
She was she was a PI. Why would she be nosy? That's her job.
Exactly. It was too much. I'm like, she's so invasive. It reminded me of the chick from
That's her job.
You know what? It reminded me of the nosiness level of the chick in what's the movie, Josh? The dream movie, Inception.
Oh,
Ellen Page.
Ellen Page.
But I believe also you don't like Ellen Page as well.
I liked her in the show on Netflix, the
Umbrella Academy.
Umbrella Academy. I liked her in that show, but she was also very whiny and like, oh, the world.
I love Ellen Page too, even since she was
Absolutely, and excuse me, Elliot Page now. So excuse us.
Yes.
Elliot Page.
Yes.
Maybe she'll be better as Elliot. Maybe I'll.
And Mr. Urban World says new article just stated that the Black Superman will be Clark Kent, but he will be from another universe and won't affect the white version. He looked it up. Okay.
So he is Clark Kent, but just another universe. Okay, maybe that's whatever. I guess we'll see. Whatever.
And then maybe he'll join forces with Icon.
Technically, I guess with multiverses and different universes,
possible.
Right? Exactly.
When we learned that from Into the Spider-Verse.
Correct. You love that movie.
That's my favorite movie. It made so much sense to me. I was like, oh, there's different universes with different versions of the same thing. it just put two and two together for me as a person who conceptualized that, and now I'm like, oh.
And perhaps that might be because of the long argument that sometimes it's easier to do things like that and animate it than real life because people are unable to suspend their disbelief.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at a cartoon, you automatically don't equate the same reality to our reality that we exist in.
Yeah, which is why Invincible here is so good as well. Whatnot. I want to watch it too.
I can't wait to see the What If series because I hope they have a version of Killmonger where he survives.
Oh, there's a What If series?
Summer,
I believe.
Oh, about
summer, yeah.
What if?
Yeah, what every Marvel story so far, what if? So
really?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be like in a movie or like a series?
No, Disney Plus.
So I'm saying like, is it gonna be like what if for each character?
Yeah, each character gets its own episode, like what if, basically.
Oh, one episode.
Yeah. So each movie that they showed is an episode like what if. So the first one's like what if Peggy got the serum instead of Steve Rogers and she's Captain America, and then it like goes on. I think it's like what if T'Challa was kidnapped instead of Star-Lord and he winds up as the Guardians of the Galaxy later. Like it's a whole like thing about
that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it will be.
There's multi-universe versions of all of us.
Oh my god. There's a multiverse Chloe somewhere.
When I'm dreaming, I'll be sleeping. I'm like, oh, okay. This is the universe.
Wait, in this universe, Mike never supported my black business, but in another universe, he purchased as promised. Interesting. Okay, Miguel.
Wait. What's this black business? Is this not
apparently in this universe he may not have a business, but in the other universe he does. You never know.
Okay. I haven't heard of this black business yet. These guys.
Wait, no, Mr. Urban World does have a business. Doesn't he sell jewelry?
He does?
He does.
I've heard of his jewelry.
He never showed us where to purchase it. That's why we could have supported you. And we asked for the link how many times?
Josh supports black businesses, especially.
I do too.
Oh, definitely not jewelry. I don't buy jewelry. You kidding me? Especially from a shady vendor online. Like, nah.
Okay. What business? What? I'm definitely support. But I did follow him on Instagram, so he does exist. I'll say that.
Y'all was supposed to buy some cable together. He tried to get on your Netflix for free.
Oh, I didn't know y'all had that type of relationship, Miguel. Okay.
No, he has an alleged hookup for cable. And he was trying to.
Oh, really, Miguel? You've seen Mr.
Friends?
Urban World?
Yes, I have. That's true.
Is he really black?
He's really black.
And you ain't sent him to the group?
He don't want to be known, but I have seen him.
But he wants us to purchase from him. Come on, bro. You know, Chloé and I do marketing, right? We can help your business grow.
Yeah.
But I do follow him. We are friends. He wanted to charge me $40 for some kind of a cable subscription for a year. But I was like, I'm sick to my legal stuff right now. This is me.
Sounds legal to me. It's only $40.
Okay. I'm good off that.
Wait, did y'all FaceTime? Because what if he has a fake account with fake pictures?
Oh, that's true, Mr. Urban Well.
That's what Tony alleges as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I have not FaceTimed him.
He's really not Black. He's an Asian woman living in Hawaii.
You hear that, Mr. Urban Well? I guess we got to FaceTime after the show.
She's 7 feet tall.
Maybe you can walk me.
No, go ahead, Miguel.
Maybe you can walk me through what I'm getting with this cable hookup and how much and how to hook it up.
He need to know what he about to spend that $40 on.
By the way, Mr. Urban World, you're always invited on the show. Where are you at?
Where you at though? Where you at though?
By the way, anyone who's watching who wants to join the show while it's live, I just put the link in the chat. So,
hey, one more thing too, another announcement before we go. Next Friday, my movie theater Regal will be opening back up, and I'm so excited about it. Which means I'll be at the movies every week, whenever I'm moving forward. So I'm very, very happy that I can now walk to the movies again or not. So
absolutely. And Miguel, did you see that Loki trailer?
I did both of them. Yeah.
What were your first thoughts on that? Because with the whole essentially the time police, I think
time cops. Which makes me think of the old movie with
that movie Jumper. No, they had like police that was jumping after.
They had the jumping police basically, like not to rebel whatever. This is like Loki. When he left in Endgame, he took the Tesseract, and they say he messed up the whole time or whatever. So they're recruiting him to help fix it basically, and he's got to go around with them and see what he's messed up, which is dope. I feel like.
Oh, you mean just like Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Correct, exactly. Yeah. Which is also a great movie, by the way. I think it's I think these Disney Plus shows are so interesting. I think that I like the differences in them and whatnot. I like that they're giving you different worlds, and I feel like Loki will be a slow build. I feel like I wish it would have continued right after Falcon and Winter Soldier, like maybe a couple weeks, but it's coming in June 9th or whatever. Also, the announcement now that the Loki show, and I think moving forward, their shows will come out on Wednesday nights instead of Friday nights and whatnot. So they moved it to June 9th instead of June 11th. So they're going to be having Wednesday night shows. So that'll help people, I guess.
Go to movies on Friday.
Correct. Exactly. So they'll be free for the movies on Friday, and then not end with everything for the whole weekend. But I like that too. I want to, because sometimes Friday comes, I have time to watch everything, so I like that as well. No, I mean I always like Loki. Listen, Loki's got Tom Hiddleston is like, blessed because he came on for one Thor movie and they can't get rid of him, right? He's so good and he's still around 10 years later and still got stuff to do, and he's gonna be in Thor 4. So I like Tom Hiddleston. I think he's a good actor. I think Loki will be good. I like to see like how it sets up other things. That's what all these shows are doing, which is great as well. So I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And I think what I appreciate the most about this is that I feel like this has to be their best project up to date, especially in the MCU for Disney Plus, because I feel like the majority of people probably signed up. Let's say the casual fan who appreciates Marvel probably signed up for Falcon and Winter Soldier and Loki specifically. So I feel like they have to not only stick the landing, but as you alluded to, it's going to start hyping people up for more films, especially since we know Marvel is going to integrate with everything. And we already heard that Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to have not only season 2, but also a movie, Captain America 4, to go along with it. So as you're saying with Thor 4, that means he's definitely going to be in Guardians 3.
Right. Exactly. And I agree with you. I think that's one of the most anticipated shows. Also shouts out to
Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson, yeah. Who I haven't seen in a long time. I think he has a good little comic relief to the show. Also, good casting as well. I also think that remember the that he's going to set up the whole thing with Kang the Conqueror, because Kang is the person who travels back in time, and Kang is going to be another black character that they trans race or whatever, and Ant-Man 3 basically. So I feel like that it's going to somehow set up going towards Ant-Man 3. So it's all set up with Marvel, which is great.
By the way, the gentleman who is playing Kang the Conqueror is also the lead in Lovecraft Country, Miguel.
I heard. But which means so that means you think he'll do good as King the Conqueror.
Yes,
absolutely. Especially when you for those who know the disposition of Kang, who's kind of always in a kind of like a foul, angry mood, like an angry character. Especially since he knows what happens, and he usually has to intervene in history, so certain obliteration in the future doesn't happen. So he's about his business, and that's what we saw a lot in Lovecraft.
Yeah, have you got to Kang yet in the Marvel show, the cartoon?
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay.
when they chipped him, and it was hard. They chipped him, but put him in the quantum gel. But they chipped him.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So without him chipping him too, he was playing with him like Thanos for a little bit. I want to see him and Thanos go at it.
Yeah, that'd be dope. That'd be pretty dope. Yeah, I like Kang. I mean, Marvel hasn't even announced a next Avengers movie yet. So I think like all these movies, and we got to talk about some of these movies and new stuff too, by the way. But all these movies and that they said that they haven't come out, I think it'll lead to a huge next Avengers movie. Well, I don't know if it's gonna be Endgame level, but it's gonna be huge. So.
Absolutely, because people have to take it serious. But I think you'll have Fantastic Four by then. Have some of those characters in there, so it'll be similar to the cartoon. Then, like I said, throw Luke Cage in one of those Avengers movies in a scene where he helps out, and you can have a lot of prominent characters gaining more notoriety, and then that can also help the TV element, which Disney Plus is crushing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Speaking of Cap 4, because I was talking about this with Tony in our chat. I was surprised that they made Bucky a co-lead or whatever. How did you feel about that?
I feel like it made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, let's not forget, he was the co-lead in Captain America: Winter Soldier. His name is in the title.
Correct. But I would expect now that Sam's winning Captain America, they would have made him the lead and Bucky like the co-star or side character or whatever you want to call it or whatnot. So I was a little surprised. Do you think it says less faith in Anthony Mackie when you look at that situation?
What do you think, Chloe?
No. I think he played his role how he needed to. Like I honestly liked Winter Soldier.
Me too.
In Falcon, and it built his intrigue. Because you want to know more about his character. I think it was a good co-lead because I didn't feel like I missed anything. I want to know more about when he was like the Winter Soldier. Like, so I would have liked to see more like flashbacks on when he was like, his backstory instead of like the present story. Gotcha. So I think that it kind of like set him up for that.
Interesting. That would actually be a great spinoff to see those years where he was doing all that damage. Then you could have a lot of characters come back. It's a great idea, Chloe.
Yeah, in context. Like, I want to see him, because they alluded to that a lot in the series, especially when he met up with what's the guy's name?
So Isaiah Brown.
No, the bad guy. Zemo. So when he met up with Zemo was like, yeah, you remember. And I know the passwords to make you crazy. And it was like, I wanted to see him like really get crazy.
Well, then I think we should probably watch Winter Soldier again.
I was about to say, yeah, you should watch Captain America: Winter Soldier. I love that version of him more than anything, actually. So he's dope. And I don't know the last time you've seen that, Chloe, but yeah.
It's been a while. So like, okay, so I've watched basically all the Marvel movies, but they all are like a blur. So like to like sit down, even Black Panther is becoming a blur to me right now. Like if I don't watch something for a while, I forget things. But then as I'm watching it, I remember again. Like, oh yeah, that did happen. So like I need to like rewatch.
You know what? Watching Falcon and Winter Soldier, it'll actually make them watching that movie again better for you. You
Okay.
should go back and watch Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
And it'll give me more context to the show.
More context, yeah, even more. So
okay. So that's on my to-do list when I have time.
yeah, we have time. Obviously. But it holds up. Like I watched it, I think 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I watched it 5 years or so before, and I was like, damn, this movie really is. It's my number one, I think number 2 movie on my list. Like it's that good. Or whatever. Yeah. I'm telling you.
See, even when I watched the Snyder Cut, I remember the first movie, but I barely remembered it. But when I was watching the Snyder Cut, I was like, this looks familiar. Like I kind of remember this part. I kind of don't. I don't know. I need to catch up on stuff. My memory for certain things is not that keen.
Yeah. Usually I find problems with movies. Even though I like movies, I can find something or whatever. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you can find a ton and without remorse, right? But like Captain America: The Winter Soldier, I couldn't find a flaw.
Okay. That's kind of how I feel about the Groot and the Rock.
Guardians 1, yeah. Another one, yeah, exactly. I love that movie. That's in my top 5
too. That over and over, and I saw that in the movies the first time, but
yeah, surprisingly, yeah. And I'm thinking that Josh talked about this too. The Eternals, they're talking about that might be that great too. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
And that's November 5th, I believe. So we saw in that Marvel trailer that really got Tony, really excited. When they talked about all their films coming through in the next couple of years. So they had a little glimpse into that and the actors and how they would look. I'm still in the dark about the backstory, but I prefer to have it that way so I can learn about it in the film.
Yeah, I think because Guardians was that way for me. I had no idea about the Guardians, right? Like she's talking about. I know who they were, what the hell's going on, and I went there because it was a Marvel film, and I want to keep with the continuity. You know what I mean? And I left that movie like blown away, like wow, this is really good. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping Eternals is the same thing for me. You know, I'm learning a little bit about their powers, and just kind of who they are, and they're basically came from the Celestials, but not a lot. So I'm getting the whole story and whatnot. So.
Absolutely. And I felt we definitely need a Silver Surfer film done correctly, 1000%, Mr. Urban World. And I did appreciate how that they're going to connect. Well, they thought about connecting WandaVision with Doctor Strange, but I had that same feeling about Doctor Strange when I first saw it. It was better than I anticipated. They, like you said, they always exceed your expectations. But I feel like that's because Kevin Feige is managing people's expectations. So when you go into it, then it's like, oh, it's a lot better than I thought. And I feel like then the trailer really does its job because it gets you anticipated without giving away too much. We already know Marvel is keeping things close to the vest. And do you think it would have made WandaVision better with Doctor Strange? Because I think it was fine without it, but I would be curious to see what it would look like with his involvement.
I mean, I think you would have made probably the huge comic fans happy, but I don't think it was anything for the casual fans. I don't think it needed Doctor Strange. Now, his reasoning is weird, but I do feel like that they didn't need it to be better. I think WandaVision was an amazing piece of TV show just to build up to WandaVision, the theories, blah blah blah. I think it was amazing, and it took place over like 3 days in a small town. So to have that type of scope show and that little bit of a small realm, I think was dope. But I don't think it needed it. I'm kind of happy they saved it because then when he comes to his movie and she's in that movie, I think it'll make it even better and whatnot. So it's cool.
So do you think they'll have a WandaVision season 2, or you think that's it?
No, that's done. I think the next time we'll see her will be either in Spider-Man No Way Home or Doctor Strange 2, which she's already definitely going to be in that. She's already filming that with him, something like that. So I think that'll be fine. Because I think, first of all, the Vision part, right? That's gone, right? Because the Vision is gone. And then
he's not gone.
Well, you got the White Vision, but I don't know what the hell's up with that. Or whatever.
That's gonna be the same storyline when they bring back Iron Man.
Okay, all right, I can see that. I would not. But I think now, okay, Josh, let me answer this differently. I don't think there'll be a WandaVision season 2 before she's in Doctor Strange. So the story might continue after Doctor Strange.
Or maybe it continues and then Doctor Strange is in there with her, and then the movie comes out.
Nah, I see the Doctor Strange movie coming out first, and then her show. He
Mhm.
might be in her show, but Benedict Cumberbatch is not an easy get, right? You got to pay him much more for a TV show. That's the other problem too. And you have to Elizabeth Olsen. So you got to watch the budget.
Question. So you don't think that with Disney having the online platform and the movie theater capacity that they have in their contracts that they have to appear on television and shows?
I mean, they might moving forward, but you got to remember Benedict Cumberbatch. He's been out since 2016. So they didn't have a Disney Plus then. So I don't think they had it back then, but they may have it. With the newer people signing up, I feel like they will have it because they don't want that same problem that Star Wars has with the black guy in Star Wars, Josh.
Landon?
No, the new one.
Finn.
Right, where
John Boyega.
Where he like, no, I'm not doing no Disney Plus. I'm not
Mhm.
ever doing that, and then whatever like that. So they don't want to have that problem. So I feel like that they're probably gonna have it in the contracts moving forward. Like, you sign up for a movie, you got to do Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have to do that. Like, it'd be silly for them not to.
And by the way, they got Benedict from TV playing Sherlock. He did a brilliant job in that, as did Martin O'Neill, who's also in the MCU as Ross, which is going to be interesting. So I'm curious to see if he's going to be involved in She-Hulk at all. If he's going to,
I think he will be.
Yeah. If he's going to turn into the Red Hawk, you never know.
Yeah, I think there will be. I don't think Benedict have a problem with it. I think that he's gonna want his money. Because it's still better than Cumberbatch. Whatever like
I have my money.
if he doesn't, because I just don't, whatever. But I don't know if WandaVision will come back. I hope it does because it was so great. I think Loki, they already said gonna have a season 2 as well. So, I think the mix back and forth will kind of work. But then you got to watch really what you don't want to give on TV because you'd rather it be in the movies. You got to be real careful with that.
I mean, in the trailer, they said, "See you at the movies."
They really, that's okay. I want to talk about that too. That trailer was all about getting back in the movie theater and whatnot. Like, they really, even the part where they showed the people in the theater watching Endgame and their reactions, and that was, and if you listen to, what's his name, the creator of Marvel, Stan Lee. His whole speech was about togetherness and having this experience of happiness and joy together. So his whole speech was saying, I want us together watching movies, not watching them at home. So this was like a subliminal message for Marvel to say, we want to see you guys at the theater and whatnot for our movies. I thought it was interesting how they did that.
I ain't sitting in no crowded movie theater.
I mean, I hear you. I'm just saying, but I think what they're trying to also let you know is that after Black Widow, if that doesn't change already, but you gonna have no choice. It's not going on Disney Plus or whatever. It's going to be at the theater or whatnot.
Absolutely.
Eventually, it'll be on Disney Plus.
Eventually, yes.
I think they're gonna do what they did before and incorporate the films into the TV shows, kind of like how they did Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when Captain America Winter Soldier was first coming out. It had his little it had his first teaser clip on as a commercial on the show, but they also incorporated the storyline into the show. So I think that's what we're all anticipating even more so. I mean, we've already confirmed it with Falcon and Winter Soldier, and it's only going to continue going on. So I can't wait to see what they do with it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. But like Widow would be on Disney Plus for $30, but they already said after that, that's it. Like, we're back to theaters. I think it's the spectrum of it all. I heard this guy yesterday, right? I watched on YouTube, Life Games. Shout out to Lamont from Life Games, and he was saying that he's got this 80-inch thing and his speakers, this and that, blah blah blah, for his house. And I get it, that's fine. But I think Marvel is really, like Feige especially, that in-game reaction where everybody gets psyched up when Cap gets the more Mjolnir. That's what he wants. He wants that, togetherness feeling of the whole theater getting riled up. And I don't see, like I said, after Black Widow, you're gonna have. But anyway, it's not even Black Widow. Even now, I didn't even realize this. What is it? A Quiet Place 2 is theaters only. That's a huge sequel. That comes out 28th of this month. So it's like these people are like, listen, we're done with the streaming stuff or whatever, like for these movies.
And I think streaming also gives them another avenue to create anticipation and marketing, which I think is great as well, because it'll build that longing for the content. Because I feel like after we see Black Widow and we see her, sister, she's eventually going to take over her role in the MCU, and that can be its own show on Disney Plus to give some backstories for certain characters who may not warrant a film yet.
I think the back and forth is dope. I like the fact they have a place to put TV shows to build onto movies, but the actual cinematic movies, they got to go in theaters. It doesn't really work.
Absolutely. And before we go to mental theater news at warp speed, any final comments?
I like the title for the new Black Panther too. I don't know if that's on the warp speed news or whatever like that. Wakanda Forever. I think that title's also subliminal or whatever. I think it's letting you know that this is what Chadwick meant to us and T'Challa, and they will stay in our hearts forever. But it's kind of our way to pay tribute and move on to the same movie. So I think that Feige always knows what he's doing with these titles, with whatever he reveals, stuff like that. I think that. Oh, go ahead. You want to comment on that?
So yes, to continue Miguel's point, our first topic is Killmonger in Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. So Miguel, what do you think his possible role, which is they're kind of teasing it, but they're kind of saying, we're not sure yet, or maybe not, even though he signed on to do, bits in the What If and other projects in Marvel as that role.
Yeah, when you try to deal with Marvel, it's always multiple movies or multiple appearances, I guess, so to speak. So he's definitely gonna be in What If. I feel like he'll be in the ancestral plane, like T'Chaka and whatnot. And I think they'll maybe use him as some sort of bridge, or maybe when like Shuri or somebody will go talk to him and get why his views were the way they were and whatnot, and maybe they'll understand where he was coming from more so how they move with the mantle. So I think he'll be not a huge, he'll probably the same as T'Chaka, like in the ancestral plane, like a few minutes here and there and whatnot. And I think Michael B. Jordan don't have a problem with that because that'll take no time for that and stuff like that. I know he's super busy and whatnot, so I think it'll be something like that.
I think he's not dead. I think he's hanging on to the cliff or something.
No, I understand what you're saying. I agree, but as we saw, he had already collapsed and he didn't go over the cliff. So he could easily put the Goyu beads in him, just like he did Ross, that saved him from a direct gunshot to the sternum, and he was able to survive. So I'm quite sure he's on ice.
Yeah, I don't think he's dead. Nobody dies. Like, who dies?
But that's the thing. He's not. Like, if they put him in the ancestral plane, he's dead to real life, but he's still not dead to us. We can still see him and talk to him, like T'Chaka.
No, I understand what you're saying, Miguel, but to me, that's the version of the Force Ghost. I don't want to see Killmonger as a Force Ghost. I want to see Killmonger as like an Anakin Skywalker in real life. I want to see him. I want to see him doing some more action and damage. To me, that would be the most interesting part. And now that I'm thinking about it, with the continuity issues, depending on what Ryan does with T'Challa's role, so he has to be in the ancestral plane. Like, how can he not be there? You would have to recast just for that.
Okay, so apparently, I just Googled it. It says later, Claw, the same man responsible for the death of Killmonger's family, resurrected him in a battle against T'Challa. Once again, no, is this old?
I mean, that could have been in the comic books, but this version of Claw was actually killed by Eric Killmonger.
I think that he's going to come back alive and then die again. Like, I think they're going to resurrect him. I don't think he's done.
I don't think he's done either,
and I don't think he's going to be in the ancestral plane. I think he's going to be like
based on the technology that we saw with the Wakandans already with vibranium. I can't see how a knife wound would kill him.
I wouldn't say it would kill. I wouldn't say it would kill him. My only thing is that at that moment, it felt like they had a conversation about, because I remember T'Challa said, "I could save you," and he was like, "No." And I feel like T'Challa would respect his wishes at that moment.
And again, that's fair. Warrior to warrior. I understand that point, Miguel. I respect it. But at the end of the day, T'Challa is king. He can do whatever he want. It's Wakanda.
And they need him. He's an asset.
But he is an asset, really. And if you think about it, they could put him under the same watch as the White Wolf and try to talk to him as a person, try to gauge the intellect. Okay, this is your motivation, this is your ethos, this is your philosophy for doing what you're doing.
The thing is, though, he didn't change by the end of the movie. Like, he died fighting for what he believed in and whatnot. So they still got to give him the time to change.
Maybe he went to the ancestral plane and learned some things and came back.
Yes.
Okay. That's good. I can work with that. Yeah.
Maybe he went to the ancestral plane and then T'Challa went there because he's dead, and they had a conversation, and then one of them had to come back, and Killmonger came back.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, he could talk to T'Chaka, the father, whatever, like that. But either way, I think that kind of works. Or Zuri, who he loved as a kid, and then he wound up killing or whatever, right? Forrest Whitaker's character and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But that's the other thing, though. He killed Wakandans or whatever. So how do they forgive that?
The same way they forgive the White Wolf.
Okay, that's true too.
And he actually is the Wakandan. He has the tattoo. He has the birthmark. So
yeah, but the White Wolf didn't kill Wakandans, though. Actually, he killed people.
But it's a warrior society. They decide the king based on a battle. Surely they okay with a little, little rumble. It's all business, right?
That's true too. Whatnot. Yeah, I mean, I can see it. You asked me, I think that because when I look at how they're bringing back Alfred Molina and Spider-Man and stuff like that from the moment he died. But remember, he died to help Peter save Mary Jane, so he had already changed by the end of the movie. So when they bring him back, he'll be changed already. Where I felt like that Killmonger didn't.
But see, this is why I don't think so. Only because, especially in cinema, especially in the MCU, when you die, kind of like how. Spoiler alert, how Phil Coulson did and not only Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but also in the Avengers, they have technology, some alien technology, probably from the scroll, to keep you alive, or vibranium in this case, and it's going to alter you as a person a little bit. It's going to alter your psyche a little bit because it's alien technology.
Okay. You think everybody's coming back? Iron Man.
Iron Man is coming back.
Okay.
I mean, he's certainly going to be in What If, but in terms
of come back, I read the spoiler alert. He's coming back.
I mean,
they cloned his body.
Okay.
And he's a technology. He is a techie. He got all his memory stored in a chip, basically like Vision.
So he can upgrade his consciousness. I get you.
Yeah, he's going to upload his conscience into his new body, which is probably going to be the Iron Man suit.
I think it's just going to be the Iron Man suit, similar to Vision, to your point. I think it's just going to be a robotic suit because that is the only way you can really cheat death is with the like transhumanist theory. Yes.
Because Vision can't die.
Okay. That makes sense too. Do you think deaths, though, aren't as impactful if they keep coming back over and over again?
No, because that's the nature of comic books.
How many times Superman died, came back? People want them to come back after they die. It's like, woo, he's back. Like, we don't know if this is gonna be the last time he dies. Like, is this his final death?
And absolutely. And just to bring it full circle to both of your point in the beginning of the show, it's kind of like when you talked about how people would feel about a superhero in real life. Like, you would complain about them, like, oh, you stopped my car, da 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 da. But if they died, not only would people cry, they would miss them and appreciate them. They erect statues. So I think it's always a brilliant way to talk about the parallels between life and death, because when they miss you, you're gone. But when you're there, they'll complain about you. And I feel like Marvel and DC, they do a great way with weaving that into the storytelling. So I think that epitomizes comic books at its soul.
So you want Killmonger to be like less, if he's not Black Panther, right? But to be like a partner, like helping out.
Oh, no. I think he should be the Black Panther. I think
okay.
King, but he should be Eric Killmonger and take his throne. with his genes. That's just me.
Is that what you think too, Chloe?
I'm open.
Or we think he'd be like a helping out, like a partner to Shuri or somebody else.
I don't know if he'd be a partner. He doesn't seem like a partner type of person. He's mad alpha, so it would have to be like him with help from someone else.
Exactly, because you have to go by the powers. He still took the plant,
the flower.
That's true. The herb, yeah.
So, which is the origin of Cap Super Serum.
He took
right.
With a more let's say a pure it's a pure leaf, right?
Yeah.
Wait. I have a storyline for you.
Go ahead.
He took the herb, he died. He took the herb, man, he died. They need to resurrect him and use his blood to produce some more herbs because he's the last. He
burned it up. Yeah.
He burned it up. So they probably have to bring him back alive to harvest his blood to make some more herbs.
Again, that's fair. However, I don't think this herb is in, weak supply in Wakanda. I think that was one patch he may have burned, but come on.
I think it's probably more on like a mountain somewhere.
Exactly.
But I'm sure there's more somewhere in Wakanda and whatnot.
I mean,
it's probably not just like localized like that or whatever.
Absolutely. And they probably use hybrids with vibranium with the seeds to grow even stronger ones. Come on.
She got some in the lab already.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm very curious to see Angela Bassett's character now because she had just learned that her brother was murdered by her husband. So I can't wait to see her character development with this all together.
Her brother. Oh, that was her brother. I thought it was the husband's brother. I thought that was T'Chaka's brother, not her brother.
Oh yeah, you're right. See, but it's still his auntie though.
We need to watch the movie again, y'all.
I know the movie.
I need to watch it. Me and Josh.
There's even more to the movie because if you go back and watch, if you watch Age of Ultron, right? Because that's what Claw was first at, and where they speak about Wakanda, because remember Ultron when he got the vibranium, and there's this scene where they're reading about Claw, and it says that T'Chaka killed Claw's grandfather. Right. Or whatever. That's why Claw always wanted to get back at them because they killed his grandfather first, actually.
And he wanted vibranium, but yes.
That's true, yeah. Exactly.
Revenge is a dish best served cold.
That's why he was obsessed with the Wakanda's Claw.
Petty gang. I'm killing I'm burning all the flour.
Yeah. But it's a great movie. Like the scene what really got me, honestly, was not a lot of scenes or whatever, but the fact that the Forrest Whitaker character was the same one as that was there with the uncle the whole time, and that he was with like that parallel was kind of dope to me, or whatever like that. So we'll see or whatnot. I mean, hey, next year Wakanda Forever. That's gonna be in the summertime. That's going to be in July. I think it's going to be so huge. Just like the first one.
In July, they should have put it out on Juneteenth. Speaking of Juneteenth, we're going to do a cookout. We're planning a cookout for Juneteenth. So
where?
That is to be determined. So if you have any suggestions, let me know.
TBD.
It's going to be outside. That's the number one requirement.
This is all alleged at the moment.
It's alleged, but it's going to be outside, socially distanced, and we're going to wear, culturally appropriate. I was thinking maybe shirts, but then I'm also thinking we should just rep our culture as best as we know how. So you wear your best outfit that represents you and your blackness on Juneteenth.
Okay.
And it's on a Saturday this year, so you feel okay. The Urban World, he gonna drive to Jersey.
Where does he live again, Miguel?
I think it's North, right? Is it like Boston? Okay,
I'm gonna say this is when he said that the name of that burger joint that he was going to, that ain't in New Jersey or Philly, so he probably in Maryland or like Florida.
Okay.
I thought it was North.
You said where?
I thought it was North, like 3 hours north, but I could be wrong.
Where you at, Mr. Urban World?
Yeah, where you at, bro?
He in the urbans around the world.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then, Miguel, did you hear that the Rogue One director, Gareth Edwards, is returning to direct a sci-fi film called True Love with John David Washington, who's blowing up right now?
I have not. No, I'm sorry. I have heard about this, and I think it's going to be good too. Um, I'm actually supposed to do a review. I know it's late, but with my friends, we're doing a Tenet review next week or whatever on his channel. My boy Chris, actually, shouts out to Chris on a show called Brews with the Crew.
Oh,
But yeah. Oh, wait, where's he? Indiana.
Indiana Jones.
Really? Okay.
this is all alleged, by the way.
So are you close to Indianapolis? Have you been to Long's Donuts in Indianapolis? Just
See,
curious, but
Mr. Herbert, you done did it. Mike has so many questions now.
yeah. I'll get back to you later, Mr. Everwell. But no, yeah, I like John David Washington. I love he's dope. There's a lot I like about him. I think that Tenet was not his fault or whatever. There's some flaws with Tenet, even though it was a good movie. But
which is also on HBO Max now.
Yeah, it's on HBO
correct.
Max.
Yeah. But I like the fact that he's blowing up and stuff like that. I could have seen him as T'Challa, honestly, and been cool with that. But I think that you don't think so?
He's more like action, realistic movies for me. I don't think I could see him as like a. I don't know. I mean, he is Denzel's son, so he could do whatever. But his father never really did any like fantasy stuff.
I think he might be too short for Chloé to believe him on screen, but that's just
well, I don't know because Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible.
It's camera tricks. Is what I say.
I agree. That's why I don't pay too much attention to it. So it's whatever.
But also, Tom Cruise didn't really play any fantasy stuff either. He was action, like I'm a soldier, or I'm a spy, or I'm a, person. Real.
Hey, Tom Hardy is 5'9" and was Bane and Chip Bruce Wayne on screen. They can make it look however it needs to look.
And look menacing. Actually, too, Tom Hardy. That's Bane. So I'm just saying, like, I think the camera tricks always work. 55 minutes to an hour from the
You got landmarks too, huh?
That's hilarious. I didn't know that was in Indianapolis. Oh, it's in Chicago. Never mind.
Right,
Kevin.
Yeah. Yeah. So no. With John David Washington, I do like him as an actor. I was big on Ballers even when that first came out the whole time. So.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I'm excited about him getting more roles and getting more work.
I could see him in a horror movie, but I can't see him in like Marvel, Illinois. You can't see him in a horror movie for real?
I don't see him in. I like what you're saying in action. I like he could be in some black drama or something like that.
Like
but
a drama horror movie. I'm talking about like a black horror movie. Isn't who's coming out with a horror movie?
Candyman coming out. This
Candyman's coming out, but who's the director? And I'm like, oh, they're doing horror movies.
Oh,
now?
Jordan Peele? No,
not Jordan Peele. He's the everyone thinks of Jordan Peele. It's another. Let me say, I had to Google this. And it's someone that I didn't expect to be a horror filmmaker. Black horror film directors.
But by the way, Miguel, I mean, I think everyone really liked Rogue One.
Oh, Rogue One is one of the best Star Wars movies they made, like the newer versions. I think, like it's I'm excited about that. That's going to lead to the the Cassian Andor series also from Rogue One. So.
But I'm saying the director is collaborating with John David Washington.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be great to see them collaborate.
I think it'll be great too. I think a sci-fi film will kind of expand his range as well because he hasn't done that yet. So I love to see.
It was a sci-fi film.
It was
what?
It was definitely a sci-fi. It was just very realistic sci-fi.
But it was more ground like that could happen type of deal, or whatever like that.
That's Christopher Nolan.
I agree. When I see sci-fi, I'm thinking like space, I guess.
Oh, it's Saw. Who's doing the new Saw movie? Spiral.
Chris Rock. I mean, he's not directing it, but he's in it.
Oops, sorry, that was me. What'd you say?
Chris Rock. I mean, he's not directing, but he's in it. But I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of, Chris Rock. He's in it, so he's like a main character.
He just started a movie.
Okay, maybe that's what I was thinking of. So he's not the director. The director is Darren Lynn Bousman. He's not. Interesting.
Which also is only in theater, Spiral, by the way, in a couple of weeks. So another one.
I don't know. We'll see how this only in movie theater stuff go. And you know what? Maybe they'll do drive-in movie theaters because I'll go to that. Like I'll see that.
We'll see. I think Fast and Furious 9 is going to be the biggest test for only in theaters because Fast Series is a huge franchise, and that a lot of people are not going to want to wait the 3 weeks or whatever it is to go buy it at home, not even for free. I think they're going to go see it in the theaters. So,
I mean, I think they're going to test it out this summer because people have people have cabin fever and people are going to take risks and go places. So,
that's true.
I think that they're probably trying to release it in the summertime really quick. So just in case there's another lockdown, they got their money and then shut it down, you know?
Well, I know what Josh is thinking. I'm thinking the same thing. I hope that, by the time Bond comes out, that, we can still see things in theaters at that time. Hopefully it doesn't shut down.
Yes. I mean, probably not. I think it's probably going to be one of those things where the vaccine may be required because that's the plan in Europe right now for fans to come back to professional sporting arenas. So,
really?
We've actually been ahead of them in terms of having fans back for like NFL, even though it's minimal and NBA and whatnot, but they would actually come back fully, but with everyone being vaccinated.
What studio makes Bond? No Time to Die.
MGM.
Oh yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, so they don't have a streaming service either then. Okay, gotcha.
Exactly. So they definitely need the Bond exists in theaters only. We all know this.
Gotcha.
Absolutely. And speaking of wonderful actors and a person who was actually in Black Panther probably is going to be in Wakanda forever. The gentleman who just won an Oscar for his portrayal as Fred Hampton in Judas and the Black Messiah, Daniel Kaluuya.
I love Daniel Kaluuya, man. I think he's so dope. I do now. This is a 2-part. For me, I love Daniel Kaluuya. I love him and everything that he's done so far. I do even Black Panther, like he had a smaller role, but like they actually added him to the billing after Get Out because it was so good because he wasn't even in the original billing. So, and they wish they would have kept his role bigger because there's more scenes with him and Okoye and showing their love together that they didn't put in the movie. But I really don't. I'm really starting to get tired of British actors playing Black historical roles or whatever like that. Even though I love him, I think he did a wonderful job as Fred Hampton. I wish they would have went to a Black American actor. That's just my personal thing.
I mean, what's the difference?
Well, the difference is because there are Black American actors who, I guess, number one, they are good enough who can do it. Number one. Number two, because it's almost like they're coming over and taking the roles from us. And then number three, when they play these Black historical roles from American and American struggle, it's almost like they didn't live it or they didn't have the same concept of it. So they're really just playing a role and whatnot because they weren't here when it was happening. I'm saying they didn't have their own thing, but Daniel Kaluuya never. He probably studied about Fred Hampton and whatnot, rather than like his dad or mom was there with the freaking people protesting or whatever like that. It was like this is a difference to me.
And I understand that point, Miguel, because we talk about this a lot on Anu Radio or Food for the Culture because they have some outstanding actors and actresses from the UK. So big up to them. Shout out to them who are doing phenomenal things. And we can see by how many awards they're getting. Lupita Luongo, things like that for 12 Years a Slave. But I guess, and I know a lot of people in the UK who are Black have a lot of respect for someone like Dr. Umar Johnson and how his I guess, philosophy on how Hollywood portrays us specifically and us being African Americans. However, they're going to, as you said, Miguel, look to give these roles to people who aren't Black Americans, even though they're playing Black Americans.
Right. That's my only issue. And I think because Chloé is happening so much, it's not like it's a one-off. The girl who played Harriet Tubman, she's a British actress and whatnot. Like it's just
the lady, the mom in them is actually British as well.
So who are you mad at specifically? That's my real question.
Oh, not Daniel Kaluuya. He gonna take the role. He gonna knock it out the park.
And I'm glad he took it. To be honest,
yeah. I'm mad at Hollywood, the studios. You know, all of it. I don't. Are they trying to say we're not good enough? Are they trying to say that we're? I don't know. I'm more mad at them. Oh, also, Jodie Turner-Smith. Both characters. I mean, not both characters. But Jodie Turner-Smith, who's in, Without Remorse, who was also in, right? If you watch, what's the movie? With her and Daniel Kaluuya, came out last year.
Queen
and Slim. They're both British and whatnot, and they play these Black Americans who are going through this, Black race time, going through New Orleans and Florida and stuff like that. So I'm like, why are we going to get two Black Americans and whatnot? So stuff like that.
And to be fair to the cast, obviously Lakeith Stanfield was in Judas and the Black Messiah. So
correct. Yeah, he's a Black.
So I guess he's kind of the illustration of the point that Miguel is making, and I certainly agree with. But again, I'm not going to be upset that people who look like me win in Oscars. But I am going to be like, well, hey, what about the opportunity? This is why I was happy that both Chadwick and Michael B. Jordan got to be in that and Black Panther, because usually those roles would typically, especially in franchises, usually the franchise roles for Black players usually go to Black British people.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it's because of their connections?
I think it's because they're wonderful actors first. That's the first part. And the role obviously is for a person of African descent. That's the second part. Now is kind of, as Miguel is saying, or as Dr. Umar is alleging, there's only certain roles available for us in these studios.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps they may want, and to be fair, it's wonderful marketing, because then you have someone from a different country, get that country involved in our support. So I understand it from that aspect, but it does beg the question, because it is, as Mike is talking about, it kind of says, are there no actors of any worth with any acting chops from Africa, from who's African American and from America, who has these roots for the stories that they're telling? So it's kind of like you growing up, and how proud would it be for someone who had an association with the, like the Black Panthers, and who had grandparents or whoever, like any type of family members who was part of that involvement, who lived through these traumatic events in our history. I think it would certainly mean more, especially for us, but for us as a whole, as a global whole, I always think it's fantastic when a Black person gets to show how great they are at their craft.
That's why I said I'm gonna make 2 points. I agree with you on that, and I agree with you on the other point. Like this, I mean, two things can be true, as I always say. So I do like Daniel Kaluuya. I'm happy for that, but I just wish some Black Americans come. Because again, if you're a Black person going to acting school right now and whatnot, and that's huge. You know what I'm saying? You want to be an actor or actress. You already got to compete with the white Americans for a lot of these roles, stuff like that. And now you got to add British whites and then British Blacks to play the same Black role you would have gotten. So I feel like that's the hard part.
And the part that they have an American accent. So that's
already
that's the part number one. Number two, with respect, it could have happened already, but you don't see it happen as prevalently as it happens here. There's no roles that are in the UK for Black people that Black Americans are getting either.
No, I don't know what's happening at all, because I feel like the UK, like, how the UK are. If you put a Black American on BBC doing a British accent, I think the UK people would storm the palace and stuff like that, like being upset and whatnot. So I just think, I know you're laughing, Chloé, but it's serious.
That they would storm the palace.
And this is all metaphorical.
Right, it's metaphorical. Because it wasn't the capital, right? So
the palace.
But I just think over there, they're way more serious about, like, if a American took a role using a British accent on BBC, let's say, or something like that.
And that's where, Tyler Perry comes into play. And that's why we need more film directors. And that's where, the change begins. And look at Donald Glover. And that's what's happening with television shows. Like, look at Donald Glover. Look at Issa Rae.
I agree.
Their characters that those are shows that are promoting Black actors. So, and it's the Black American perspective, and because they're creators of that show, they have creative control of who they want to be in there. Even Shonda Rhimes, like, regardless of the content and the message you're sending, they're still giving opportunities to Black African Americans to be actors. Now, if you're a director that's from European descent, why wouldn't you want a Black British person versus a Black American person?
And then that's a wonderful point. And I guess I appreciate that Ryan Coogler was given that position to direct. So that's a great point for bringing up the other aspects of filmmaking. So I do appreciate that as well.
Yeah, because him being from Oakland, I feel like, he's deeply rooted in the American struggle, let's say. I feel like that he's going to always try to make predominantly roles for Black American leads or co-leads, like Michael B. Jordan and Chadwick Boseman and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I feel like he's got a different aspect. Of course, Daniel Kaluuya could be in the movie. I mean, he'll have a small role, you know what I mean, mm-hmm. rather than being the lead and stuff like that. So I think you saw that with Spike Lee, right, when he was doing his thing. I think you see that with Antoine Fuqua, right? Same thing and whatnot. So I feel like what Chloe's saying, more directors, more studios, more people doing our own thing. I think they'll be more enlightened and knowledgeable to say, you know what, let's get some Black American people and let's get them parts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, they look like me, so I'm happy. Mm-hmm. I just want to see people who the little girl who I went to school with who wanted to be an actor or actress not get turned down just because she's, or not even turned down because she's Black, but has to compete with another person on top of everybody else and whatnot.
She got going with a British accent. And,
with a British passport, apparently.
Get dual citizenship if you want it that bad, and the climate. You feel me? She got a pass for a black British.
Now, again, to be fair, we're not saying that we're unhappy about this, and we're not saying that British actors who are Black don't have acting chops. We think they have phenomenal acting chops, and we've seen it multiple times. We're going to see it in the future, and we're happy about that. But I will say, to their credit, I would say the acting, the path of an actor in the UK is a bit stronger than I would say in America, just because of the history that dates back to Shakespeare, and they really take that craft incredibly serious. And that's why I give a huge respect, which is why I know when these actors get these roles, they're going to do a phenomenal job.
Which is why I think when they come with their headshots and their agents come, they get kind of a small leg up because they're already British. Then a Black American actor or actress.
Connections.
There you go. Yeah, that's true.
And also, to be fair, going back to the demographics of the studios, as Poe's point, they understand that kind of like how I said before, when you have someone who is an international actor who can still have that same effect for the culture, so to speak, it kind of kills two birds, one stone. And from a demographic standpoint, I think it's smart business, and it also has a great result in terms of the product.
Mm-hmm. Money.
I get it, and I think it wasn't as prevalent before, or maybe we didn't really notice it, but I think over the last 5 or 10 years, you're starting to really like, damn, why all these roles go to the same type of people, whatever like that. So we'll see how things go in the future.
Absolutely. And again, these actors are so incredible that you don't even know that they're British until they do the interview.
Exactly. Right. I didn't know Idris Elba wasn't American.
Nobody did. So people didn't know for years, actually,
because he hit it. And I think that's another thing too. That I don't know if he hit it, but it felt like he hit it.
No, he didn't hide it.
I mean, for me, it felt like he hit it. How did I not know? It's like if you're, I just feel like usually if.
When did you find out?
When I found out he was a DJ and I heard him speak.
That was like only a couple years ago. That's crazy.
No, he's been a DJ for a while. I think his origins was in DJing, but
okay. I got you.
They can do our accent better than we could do theirs.
That's rubbish, bruv, isn't it?
Depends.
I mean, I agree. I kind of agree with that actually, a little bit, and I feel like that's why if we try to be in one of their movies, then we would get it wouldn't work out too well or whatnot. Because they have little things about their accent, like Josh does rubbish, or little words they say, or just different type of mannerisms that we won't be able to pick up on a lot of times.
Absolutely. Language is a rhythm, right? So each, go from city to state to area, the country area, the world is all about a rhythm and how you articulate how you feel at that time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Idris started using his accent in more movies around the time I guess I think like 2009 or 10 or whatever like that. So I've kind of known for a while, but which is why he'll be a good Bond as well, stuff like that. So
he will be an amazing James Bond. He was in Hobbs and
he
Shaw.
was.
Sean
Yeah.
Hobbs. He was really good in that movie
With his British accent.
exactly. I like him better with his British accent,
With his London accent, absolutely.
like
yeah, with his accent, yes.
talk that talk. Speak like you. He could have gone far. I feel like they would go.
I've yet to hear Daniel Kaluuya though in the movie using his British accent or his regular accent.
I didn't even know he was British.
Wow.
Use it in Black Mirror.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, Black Mirror. Yeah, Black Mirror has a lot of accents, but like but then see, the thing is, maybe it's just me being biased. But when I see a Black person with a British accent, I think that they're putting on the accent. That's not actually their accent. So like, it could have been like I seen Idris Elba talking his natural accent, and I thought he was acting.
Wow.
Eesh. So, all right, just for those who may not hear it, I've been blessed enough to go to the UK a bunch of times, lived there in the summer, and I've been able to pick up the accent, but also the accent when they're acting as an American. So there's a different tweak in how they pronounce certain words, and it may sound like they're a bit I don't want to say slow, but it's just like they're pronouncing it in a different way and a different rhythm and this different tonality than you would hear. Similar to the fact that if you're from that place, you're going to communicate like where you're from. That's just who you are. But when you're acting, you're always adding your own spin on it, like a representation of it. That's why it doesn't sound right. It's just off. I'm not saying it's off-putting, but it's not completely there.
It's
so
definitely off. Yeah, you can tell it with Idris when he plays Stringer Bell. You can tell it with Daniel Kaluuya. I can hear the difference.
Once you know, you can spot the difference like a magic trick. Once you know where the point is, you're going to see it every time.
Exactly.
But if you don't know and you're not expecting it, you know, I don't even think a lot of people know how many British actors are playing these roles. Like,
exactly.
I agree. So it's kind of like maybe that's why it's not being addressed because no one's talking about it. Like, I don't really go and like research the history of anyone who's an actor.
But it's not that I've researched the history, but if they're going up, like Josh said, for interviews promoting the movie.
Bro, I don't watch interviews that promote nothing.
Okay. I'm saying like that's what
and the person in the movie, and I listen to how they talk, and I see the face, like, oh, that's a black person. They're Black. Oh, they're putting on a British accent. Like, I mean, I'm not. Yeah,
so for you, probably until they win the award for it, you hear the speech, and you're like, oh shit.
And I'm not watching the award show, so like, I might never know for 5 years until I hear "Man's Not Hot" on the radio, or like, you know.
Right.
Boasty. Like then I'm like, oh, he a rapper too. Okay. You feel me? And then I hear the accent in there. But like, you know, now I know he has an accent so I can hear it when he's speaking in our dialect. But other than that, if I didn't do my research or I didn't hear from somebody, I would have never know. Like I didn't know Daniel Kaluuya. Kaluuya? How you say his name? Kaluuya.
There's two U's.
So, I mean, maybe his last name would give a hint away, but I don't know where Kaluuya is from.
Well, again, to be fair, similar to Idris Elba with these, let's say, African origin names.
Yes.
Usually that's a sign of someone being from the UK.
Or from Africa. Like, I don't know where you're from.
No. Also from Africa, like Lupita, right? But usually Africans who are classically trained in acting usually go to England.
If you know that context, yes. If you don't, you're like, oh, this is an African actor.
I think to Chloe's point, the average person doesn't know because there's people like I saw on the shade room, like last year, like it's just not American. Like they still just found out.
Exactly. Like what you mean? Really? First of all, it's context, right? So if you're the average person, you're like, oh, he's in all the American movies with an American accent, so he must be an American.
You only knew that because you only watched American movies. He played Luther for 9 years on BBC, right? So,
exactly. But I'm saying American citizens in the Black
right. They will know that. Yeah.
Who is not watching BBC?
Right. That's it.
Pause.
But I think, and it's more about to me. I mean, roles are roles, but it's more about to me when they play historically black roles or people who did it from
Especially
historical events.
slavery.
Right, like playing Harriet Tubman. I'm like, you couldn't
Well,
have got a black,
you know,
you could have got a black chick.
hold on, because you know who they wanted to play Harriet Tubman. Was it Sandra Bullock or something?
20 years ago, yeah. So that was even worse.
It was like, I'm saying, like, you feel me? Like, I think that we're in transition periods, okay? And they've done way worse. They had Flex Anderson playing Michael Jackson. Like,
and they had Anthony Mackie playing Tupac.
There's
that's why people took it.
Maybe they messed it up for us.
Well, okay. And that's another thing. I think it's another thing because at one point, black actors and actresses were mad about rappers getting all these roles who weren't trained and stuff like that and whatnot. And now it's like moved on. So now that's another competition. I got to compete with rappers who not trained.
Because Ice Cube
Ice Cube, Ice-T, whoever you want to name, Snoop Dogg, Will Smith, 50 Cent, it's all of it.
All of them, because they about that. Like, and guess what? They African Americans, so we got a little bit of the population.
Maybe didn't go to school, so now
because they got money in there. Like, they get money. Number one, number two, they're great actors.
But as a black actress and actor, if you did go to school for, let's say Juilliard or whatever, you're like, I'm losing out to this guy who made a song.
Because in America, it don't matter if you went to school or not.
Well, to be fair, Tupac did go to Juilliard as well.
Okay.
And he was an actor and a musician. So to be fair.
Yeah. Okay. Tupac, yes. But most of them, Snoop didn't. I'll tell you that right now, whatever. Or Dre or whoever you want to say. So I just feel like it's just more competition. If that's
I have something. So maybe it's not the British actors who are taking on the black roles. Maybe it's the black rappers, comedians.
True, comedians too.
Taking the role. Maybe that's the real competition.
No, it's all competition. It's just added competition. But you're right. That too. It's all of it.
Then, okay, so if you think about that, right? Because Juilliard might be important, or a school of acting might be important for a British actor, but over here in America, you don't even have to go to acting school to become a prominent actor. Snoop Dogg's acting.
Mr. Urban World said Snoop Dogg's acting in Baby Boy, which he got shot in the leg. Spoiler alert. Phil Fowler said he should have been paid $20 million for that movie. Interesting.
It's Tyrese is in the think about all the movies that make money that black actors are in. They're Ludacris is a rapper. Tyrese is a singer.
I know. And you heard like Samuel Jackson and Wesley Snipes, other ones have huge complaints about all these roles going to rappers and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they went to acting school.
Samuel L. Jackson ain't got no room to complain about nothing. Okay? Number one. Because he doesn't. He has enough roles.
Right, but he went to acting school.
Yeah, back in the 70s, the 60s.
Doesn't matter. He went.
Just like everybody went to college back then, got great jobs, and now it's oversaturated. Like, your degree don't matter as much as you used to. Because it's too many people that have it. So, like, just because you're like, oh, I went to acting school, you should pay me $20 million for a movie.
No,
like,
they should.
They should. So it's it's just
as that person, if like you, okay, you're a teacher. If I came off the street and just said, you know what, I can teach this class, you'd be like, yo, wait, I know this is my role. Now I'm just gonna let some guy teach somebody now, whatever like that. You will be upset, Chloe. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna be upset. You can't in America. You can't be upset. In Britain, you might be able to be upset. This is America. Don't catch you slipping, no. Look at Childish Gambino. He's a rapper / director / actor. Like they are the best representation of acting anyway, because they have to have a persona 24/7. So you can't tell me they don't have acting skills.
I didn't say well, hold on. They all do. Like Bow Wow, who we're talking about. They all do.
Does have acting skills. And he for the right movie, he does. He been Little Bow Wow. You gotta act like a person your whole life. That's not you.
Okay. All I'm saying is that if you've worked your whole life to be something and then went to school for it and hope to try to do this out, but then somebody who didn't have to go through what you went through, they just take it because they had a good song on the radio. Or
Mike, can I say one thing?
Right.
One thing. Life is not fair.
That's true.
Number one, like what? Oh my God, he's little Bow Wow. He got the part over me. Like,
hold on. I would say in these roles that have these not celebrities, these musicians, these artists, they're usually created just for them. Usually, I'll say that. Number two, I also have to point out that Samuel L. Jackson was a marine biology major at Morehouse. However, the reason why he's revered is that you had to. This is what British actors do. You have to do some plays. You got to go to theater. You have to learn your craft as opposed to just showing up. But again, if you make these roles specifically for these characters in real life who may or may not even write their own lyrics, right? So there's already acting in the first place.
Exactly. Personification of a person is acting.
I think over time it do get better, right? Like Ice Cube was way better later on than he was, and let's say, well, no, he was pretty good in Boys in the Hood. But I'm saying, like, I think
Friday. You kidding me?
I mean, well, you could have been great in Friday. They didn't take much acting. It's comedy.
He was an amazing actor.
And he created the film as well. He created it and starred in it, Miguel. That's talent. That's talent.
Ice Cube is great, but you could tell over time he got better. That's
of course, you're gonna get better with practice. It's like it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at anything. So
these people come in with more practice because they've already had theater roles and acting schools and stuff like that. So they already have that practice you're talking about.
But also, Mike, you have to remember, theater is completely different than movie magic, which is completely different than television magic, which is completely different from, all these other things.
I definitely agree 100%.
So it's like, I've been on Broadway. Okay, but does that translate into a movie?
Not when it comes to camera tricks and things like that, no. Exactly. But delivering a line, it can definitely translate because you've been able to deliver the line a certain way.
You could deliver the line in a live audience, and that's why, theater is such its own craft because each show is never going to be exactly the same. It's like improv versus, a comedy stand-up, a stand-up.
Going back, I'm saying between the rappers, comedians, like you said before, right? Now, social media people, reality TV stars, right? And then on top of that, you add British actors. As a regular American actor, you got a long fight.
You got to fight. And guess what? Only the strong survive. So you best to get fighting, okay? You best to get fighting because if you don't, you're going to sink or swim. Like, it's America. So, that's his life. You can't sit around and complain.
And as a studio, like Josh said, I get it. Like, that person, like, Cardi B, they put her in the movie or whatever like that. You're doing it because you want the marketing aspect, whatever. You know what I mean? You want the revenue, whatever. So I get it. Still, you don't care. You care, but I don't think like a side role, you're fine with it and stuff like that.
Exactly.
On a billing, you're cool. But I'm just saying, if that was my craft, going forward, it seems like every year just more and more obstacles.
So change it. So you gotta change your profession, and maybe you should.
You might have to.
So you can't be better. Man, doing that. I hate.
And I'm gonna go back to your point earlier, and to your point. I feel like there are less and less Black TV shows and or movies that are out than used to be and whatnot. So even less opportunities than it was at one point.
And Mr. Urban World says, how easy it be to be Ezel from Friday.
Correct. You could have been a Friday.
He would be great at Ezel. And I don't even know what you like. Cat Williams is a dope actor and comedian.
And in real life, because he got beat up by a middle schooler.
He's naturally funny, and it just works for him.
And he got beat up by a middle
Cat Williams is better than Kevin Hart. I agree.
I disagree with that statement.
Really?
I saw see, let me just say this. I saw Kevin Hart when he was pure and raw. Like, I seen him, he came to Ryder when he first started. Like, his first stand-up. And I swear I was crying, laughing. Like, I laughed. And I love to laugh. I love comedy shows. I laughed from the time he got up on stage to the time he left the stage, and I had real tears coming down my eyes because he's funny. But now I don't think he's funny now because he has too many sponsorships. Like, he can't do what he wants to do. He's not pure anymore. He's not really like in that grind mode.
I agree.
Just like, I haven't seen Cat Williams stand up in person. If I were to pick. Maybe Cat Williams now is better than Kevin Hart because he kind of corny. Because I think other people write his stuff for him now. But I
I agree 100%. I don't think Kevin Hart is what Kevin Hart was. His
No,
most
no,
recent thing on Netflix was not good at all.
I didn't laugh at all. I'm like, what is this?
Me either.
These corny jokes, like who
Right.
wrote this? And the thing is, people he's more focusing on being in movies too. He's trying to transition from the comedian role to actor role. And even his joke, like, and that's why his jokes are like written for him, or he has like a team of writers, kind of like with Dave Chappelle. He was, watered down until he left and went to Africa.
I think that Kev is just in the in the cancel culture climate, so he's very, very careful of what he says. Chappelle just doesn't care or whatever like that. Not that he doesn't. Not now, yeah, he does. Not that he doesn't care about. I mean, he doesn't care about being canceled, but I feel like that he'll I'll go do some shows for some colleges and make enough money to he don't care about
he's already rich, and then he doesn't. He found his purpose, and he found like his moral compass, I'll say, because before when he was underground, he was hilarious. Yeah. And then when he started doing this Chappelle show, he's talked about in his interviews how it's a team of writers that's coursing him to do certain things.
Right.
And he decided, nah, I'm not doing it. I don't care how much money you're gonna give me. I'm not doing that. So he had boundaries. Kevin Hart doesn't have any boundaries. Like some of the stuff I see him do, I'm like, that's not something a dude from Philly would be doing.
No, like it's a lot. Yeah.
Like he kissing dudes and like he like in one of the shows, it's like comedic kissing. It's not like tongue kissing, but it's like him being very feminine and like the whole what is it? Put the black man in a dress to get him rich.
Well, he is making a ton of money.
Exactly. So he sold his boundaries that for money, and he's rich, so it worked. But it's like, where do your boundaries stop and begin?
I mean, we heard his stand up. He got clowned a lot, especially for his height. So he this is my revenge. Hey,
he had. But my thing is, if he would have, he's what's the word? He Hollywood now, and for his benefit, he's gonna make a lot of money. But it's like Dave Chappelle. At what point is the money not important versus your authenticity?
Well, it's kind of like at a certain point, you understand that you won't be on the Mount Rushmore of certain things in the industry. I don't think he's ever going to be in the same category as Richard Pryor. I think Kevin Hart. I think Dave Chappelle.
Or Eddie Murphy.
Right. I think Dave Chappelle is in that ilk. He's in that conversation. He's on Mount Rushmore. But I think that also has to do with your delivery, your satire, and the topics of which you talk about. So Kev has always been about pop culture and his art.
Also, though, to his defense, he did say he's got to take care of so many people or whatever, between his family and his team who all works for him. So he feels like if he does get, let's say, quote unquote, canceled, that he would not be able to take care of so many people. So he's so careful because of that.
Careful. I mean, we talk about on Food for the Culture all the time. Shout out to Banks, how he's not careful with his media team.
Who, Kevin Hart?
And how he just be responding on Twitter.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I guess careful with his comedy. I agree with that too. Bernie Mac
is definitely on there. RIP Bernie Mac, he's definitely on there.
So I think that for us, those men and comedians are on a different level, but time is the only thing that will tell where he lands.
Right, but the money will ensure that he's in the conversation.
Yes, exactly. And then it's like, okay, for example, what's the woman who shaved her head? The comedian
Britney Spears.
No.
Tiffany Haddish.
Tiffany Haddish was a conversation topic for a little bit, right? Oh, she's the funniest black woman. She's funny. And I
never thought that, by the way. But.
Exactly, because she was. I'm not gonna say she's not funny. I'm not gonna say she is funny because I never seen her stand up. I don't even know. Her grind is there. She got to a point where people are talking about it. She grinds. So when you grind a certain way, you get into that category where you'll get carried as the token person. So I feel like Kevin Hart, he transitioned from a person who was really like an individual because his stand up from before was unique to me. And now it's just he's fallen in line to this role that they're putting him in.
Yeah, being a rich guy. I hate to say it, but he was so loud and tried too hard.
Who, Kevin Hart?
Tiffany
No,
Haddish.
Tiffany Haddish.
Oh, Tiffany Haddish. Yeah, she did. But I think they made her do that. Kind of like they're making Kevin Hart play this like small, weak, feminine dude.
Also makes the money. And
Right.
he's small.
But let me say this. Him taking that personification of himself and having creative control over it gives us something like Husbands of Hollywood, where he was hilarious. But when you take that personification of that type of character and you give it to white people to write for you, you get his character in Jumanji.
I mean, I thought he's fine in Jumanji.
A
Honestly.
woman.
Oh yeah, he was a woman. Yeah, but I thought he was fine in Jumanji as far as the.
He was fine, but he wasn't like. I don't know how to put this. Maybe I'm not articulating this the right way. He sold out. And he's gonna make a lot of money, but he's gonna have to sell part of his soul.
Yeah, he's already done it. He knows this already, though. I guess he uses the fact that he can't let down everybody around him to like justify what happened or whatever like that. But I think that he knows this already, so he's fine. What Chappelle won't happen to, I don't think. I think that certain people it wouldn't, it wouldn't. But also the culture helped it as well because it's so easy.
When you call him small and weak, I felt that because I'm only 4'8". Now I'm definitely scared to get on camera.
He's lying.
Didn't Urban say he was tall?
As long as you got jokes, you good with me. But Kevin Hart not funny no more, so it bothers me. Like
he's not. Like that last stand up was so bad. Like,
are you sure you not? But it was like awkward. I felt awkward for him watching it. Like, who are these jokes for?
The people who were there, which are the people paying for him to be in the theater.
And it wasn't even funny. They weren't even laughing that hard.
No.
Did they have a laugh track? It was like bump, silence. Like what? It was just, I was just waiting to laugh, and I was just like, it was a very emotional roller coaster for me of sadness.
I paid to see him in North a few years ago, and I was like so disappointed. So,
like, what? Interesting. Because maybe that's right, Josh. We're not his audience anymore, so it's not appeasing to us.
Right?
He's funny to other people.
I thought that was given. That's the illustration of him selling out.
Yeah, he changed his audience.
Exactly.
Because who put him on? But to be fair, he's been in 40-Year-Old Virgin, so he's already been crossing over. That was always the aspiration. So,
but then it's like, look at Trevor Noah. He's hilarious.
But again, that has to do with delivery and writing, comedic timing.
He is hilarious.
It's just different, but he's always been hilarious because he's able to be himself. As we're saying, Kevin had to change. Yes. In order to cash out.
So let me just say this. Be you. Because you're going to either be you and make money or not be you and make money. But it's better to be you and make money.
So are we, as people, I'm just asking, being a devil's advocate here, are we not supposed to evolve as people and grow?
Is that evolution though?
That's not evolution. That's assimilation. That's like going to work and having a suit on when you get home. You can't take it off. Like at some point, you got to be yourself. And that's what Dave Chappelle, I felt like, struggled with because he knew he wasn't being authentic to himself. He was actually perpetuating this mission for the stereotype of a certain, of him being the leader of a stereotype of people who look like him instead of him just being his authentic self. Mm-hmm. And that's why he said, nah, I ain't for that. Y'all not gonna use me and make billions of dollars off me and ruin generations off of me. And I can't even be my authentic self.
I mean, regardless if they're authentic self or not, that's still gonna happen because that's how the world works.
Say that again.
Regardless if they're gonna be the authentic self or not, they're still gonna be making money for other people. And they're going to make that money for other people regardless.
Exactly. And my point is to build off of that is you're going to lose a part of yourself when you're pretending to be someone else. So the people are going to make their money either way. So it's either you choose to not be yourself forever or you choose to be yourself. Because at the end of the day, even if you're yourself, you're still perpetuating an image, right? But if you're perpetuating an image that's not even yourself, that comes with a lot of social weight, especially when you become conscious about the impact that you have on people.
And here's what I will say to Chloe, like he's made enough money now that he shouldn't have to worry about the cancel culture now. You know what I'm saying? He should worry about himself. And he can now he's made enough money to where he can he does already. Like finance his own tours and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
He can put enough money to be able to finance his own movies and stuff like that. So he shouldn't have to worry about a studio telling him no or blah blah blah. Just be yourself.
This is where I respectfully disagree, but I disagree with the application of that philosophy. Philosophy, I think, is flawless on both of y'all, but I think the application of that, especially for where the media and entertainment is now, as we saw, his base, his audience is different. So the cancel culture it would really come from people who would actually be paying that money, which may be of Caucasian descent. And their cancel culture is a lot more volatile than African-American cancel culture. They
don't spend as much money as we do.
But on his films, yes, they do. And that's the key.
We need to look at some numbers. We need to look at numbers because
if he went back to making comedy specials more geared towards us, though, and let's say they decide to try to cancel him on the other side, he'll still get our money.
Exactly. And look at Tyler Perry. I just feel like everybody who makes enough money should be doing a Tyler Perry / Ice Cube model.
Yes.
Ice Cube has his own production company. He makes his own films.
For 20 years, 25 years, maybe.
He's making kiddie films. Like he makes children family films. And can nobody say he's not a gangster rapper? Like if that doesn't show you the power that we have when we apply ourselves and we are individualists or separatists. Separatists, yeah. And we do our own thing. It doesn't impact us negatively in our community in the long run because we have control creatively over how our image is being portrayed. Because Kevin Hart, corny now. I would never spend money to go see him now. And I would get my last money back in college. Like, yo, I gotta hustle, get some money to go see him because he's funny.
And now he costs more money to see. I'm definitely not going to pay to see him now.
No. And on top of that, look at the Wayans brothers. Like it's literal real-time examples of people who are Black, who are comedians, who have the same blueprint that did not sell out and did their own thing and made money off of it. And did it the way they wanted to.
Well, I would argue about white chicks in there, but that's just me.
Well, they wanted to make white chicks. That was their creation.
Right. But similar to the whole reason why Chappelle quit, and wisely, it made people more comfortable saying certain words.
Yes. Now, we're not going to battle the moral implications of movies.
Well, but you kind of are.
But what I'm saying is, look. What I'm going to say is this. If you're going to be a detriment to your community, make sure you do it on your own. Don't have somebody using you as a puppet.
So you don't think any people who are of Caucasian descent benefited greatly from white chicks?
Of course they did, but they're going to benefit from everything.
So some people also might call that selling out as well.
It depends. If they didn't come up with the pilot, they couldn't have did the movie.
Who was the audience for white chicks though?
Black people and white people, everybody. But mostly Black people.
Correct. So I would say they sold out. People, right.
But I would say
it's kind of like it's a movie for us, but they gonna watch it.
Correct.
Like Tyler Perry stuff, people could say he's a sellout because he has all the tropes of Black folk up in there. And if a white person were to watch it, it kind of does, carry on the stereotypes and reinforce them that of things that they know. But as a person of color watching that, you know what I mean? He's always made his shows for his audience members who are us. His shows weren't meant for white people. Like I went to go see Tyler Perry when he was doing plays, and I see any white people in the audience. It wasn't for them. But because he making money, now they could watch it.
Kev and Tiffany, like by the Black community at this point, they do get saying like either they're not funny, or on Tiffany's part, did she play the same role every time or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I think they created that, I guess, respect from the Black community in for the dollars. And that's what they want to do. It is what it is, but I'm never going to respect them as much as artists as I did when they first came out.
So it's about the respect in the culture, how the culture perceives you.
I think you can do both, but I think that the path to make the most money is sometimes losing the respect from your culture, i.e., Black guy in a dress or black guy in the clown suit or whatever you want to say and stuff like that. So I think that, but you can still make money without it. Some people, I think some comedians are doing just fine without having those sellout moments, but they won't ever reach the Kevin Hart, let's say, money status. But they're okay with that. So it depends on who you are.
The force is strong with the irony with Tyler Perry wearing a dress. So Mr. Urban World, man with the type of money to leave the industry, open a franchise and retire. I don't know what these big words means that you're using, Josh. I feel some type of way, just like how Kevin Hart's role in 40-Year-Old Virgin. Very nice, Mr. Urban World. I was upset that the Wayans brothers let Scary Movie series get stolen from them. Absolutely.
Let me say this. Tyler Perry chose to wear the dress before a white man told him to. That's a difference.
Yes, because that makes a difference.
It is a difference. Because if I choose to do something stupid, it's my decision versus somebody be like, oh, go jump off that bridge. No, if I was like, yo, I'm jumping off this bridge today, that's a completely different. It's about the origin.
I agree with Chloé. I never had a problem with Martin playing his mother, stuff like that. His own choices and stuff like that. I think it's different when somebody tells you need to put in the stress that you know you know.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because we can't live without Shanae. Shanae was a staple in our culture. You feel me? Like, and that came from him. It didn't come from somebody like, oh, you got to put this dress on. We'll give you some more money. Or you got this dude, and we'll give you some more. Actually, I was watching the Boondocks yesterday, and it was the episode where Props goes to some like church cult or something, and it's like a Medea looking character, and he's like, wait, so you made this acting so you could just be with men? And then it was basically like a cult. Trying to make a connection between that. But yeah, so he put the dress on because he chose to put the dress on.
So wait, so did Fox make Martin put the dress on and he chose?
That's a good question.
Because I think we all know what we feel about Fox and their
That's a good question.
So again, that's just my take on things. I like to look at the whole.
I don't know. I would have to go back and look, but I feel like
I think we know, but it kind of goes against what you guys were saying. But
it does.
I understand. It's fine. It's okay.
Okay, wait. So listen. So I'm not going to go against what I said about Tyler Perry because he was wearing a dress on stage with no white people in the audience.
I want to say, Josh, I don't know, but I will get back to you. That's what I would say on that. Because it could have been Fox, but I feel like that was Martin's own creative mindset. But I'll get back to you. I will find out. About the because I want to. Do you have any more stuff on the warp speed?
Oh no, that was it.
All right, about just to bring it all the way back to the Black Superman thing. You know what I'm like that.
Sorry, that was
full circle.
Full circle. I think it's smart for them because they're also looking for a Black director and writer to do it. And I think they're trying to make it more authentic. But they're definitely copying the Black Panther and Ryan Coogler thing of Marvel and whatnot. Like, if we're going to have a Black character, let's get a Black director and writer and stuff like that. So I think it's smart, but you can see where, like, Marvel's always ahead of DC, when it comes to that.
Absolutely, and I can't wait to see what they do with the Wakanda TV series. I wonder if it's going to be the Dama Milaje or maybe Okoye and Daniel Kaluuya's character, maybe what it's like at living at home in Wakanda type of thing. I think that would be pretty cool too.
Either that or Nakia going on her missions and stuff like that.
Absolutely. And to see, that's the other reason why Eric Killmonger needs to return to the MCU and play the Black Panther character for Wakanda, because that's going to be an obvious love interest with Nakia and Eric Killmonger.
Wow. Okay, I can see that. I wouldn't know a little bit. And the other thing was the other news was that Marvel, on that video clip, they decided to change Captain Marvel too to just the Marvels and whatnot.
So, and I wonder if that's going to have Kamala Khan in it.
It will. It will, yeah. It will, yeah, definitely. If you look at the new symbol, it's got Captain Marvel symbol, but the S is from Kamala Khan's
lightning T-shirt. Now we talking.
Correct and whatnot. But also, the Black, what's her name? Monica Rambeau, who also was Captain Marvel, going to be in as well. So it'll be three basically Marvels in the movie. So
absolutely, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen with her. Was it daughter or granddaughter who was in WandaVision?
Oh, the Black.
No, that is Monica Rambeau. No, that's
her daughter.
Yeah, the daughter.
I thought the daughter's name was Monica. What was the other one's name? Maybe I'm wrong. Whatever, like that. I thought the daughter's name was Monica. I thought the mom was named something else. Either way, I know you're talking about the Black lady from WandaVision. Yes.
Yeah, because didn't she get visited by an alien at the end?
By the way, the mom in Captain Marvel, the first one, She's also British, by the way. Just another topic, but
Is it? Yeah, well, you know, they're here to stay, Mike.
I know, just saying, because she's a new Bond movie.
Yeah, we got to put on a British accent if we're gonna compete.
However, Monica Rambeau, which is the daughter, is played by Teyana Paris, and she is from South Carolina.
She is. I like Teyana Paris. Actually,
she from South Carolina. You said
the daughter, yeah,
South Carolina. So she's American. There we go.
There we go.
African American. There it is.
Bam. We got one.
we also got Killmonger and T'Challa, so you know.
And we got Captain America. He American.
True.
That's true.
Two. So, Isaiah Bradley as well. So that's two technically.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, Marvel's got 10 to 12 projects. I mean, moving forward, man, we're going to get 10 projects a year from Marvel. So it's going to be a lot of content. 4 movies, probably 5 to 6 TV shows. So I feel like this is just exciting next couple of years, you know, for Marvel.
So Mike, I have a question for you. So thinking back to our first mental theater episodes together, when all the movie theaters shut down and you guys are panicking, how do you feel about Marvel content now?
Wait. I was panicking. What did we say?
Tony was panicking.
Wait. That wasn't our first one.
I said around the first ones.
Okay.
Y'all was panicking when the pandemic happened. How are they going to release the movies? The movies are closed. Blah blah blah. And now
they didn't release them though. They held them
exactly because y'all were nervous, and I was like, "Don't worry, there's a plan for this. Everything's gonna move on TV. How can it move on TV?
It did move on TV. What movie was on TV?
You just said it out your mouth.
But I said 4 or 5 movies now. And some TV shows.
Projects. So you're getting your Marvel content in a longer form.
It's a semantics club. We were talking about movies.
And it is movie quality. Because I would watch the whole Falcon Winter Soldier in a movie theater.
Got it. But they saved Black Widow for over a year and a half because they had to come out in the movie theater. They knew
what? We got shows instead. So you still got your Marvel content. You're welcome.
Okay. That's true. We got the content, but they knew. But I knew because I said you can't recoup this money without theaters. That's why they saved it.
Yeah, it was like there's not gonna be any content. There's no content. There's content. They're not gonna film movies.
Again, Chloe, I agree, but I think that was content in the theaters specifically
because they weren't thinking outside the box like Disney.
No, but they still
didn't either.
They still want the content in the theaters. That hasn't been resolved completely.
Well, it's on.
It hasn't been.
Guess what? You got a little snack on Disney Plus. Because if I can recall, Tony ain't even want to get Disney Plus. Or was it
not? He still doesn't.
No, I had it from day one. Josh will tell you that. But
okay,
but
Verizon,
yeah.
Oh yeah, you had the plan.
I had to free hook up. But Kevin Feige, listen, if this pandemic was still going on like crazy right now, it would still be held. He's not putting these movies on Disney Plus or whatever.
That's what he's gonna have to take a big old seat and relax. Because that's what I like watching WandaVision. I like watching Falcon.
Yeah, they were dope. Yeah.
I like watching. I'm gonna like watching Loki.
Right, but to be fair, those are created for streaming. Not for like a film release, a theatrical release. Those are two totally different type of projects.
Listen, we'll see.
We'll see. But listen, like I said, starting this month, with Disney in particular, Cruella comes out May 28th. It's going to be in theaters. Also, $30 on Disney Plus or whatever like that. So we'll see. Or whatever, how it's going to go. I won't see Cruella, but that's not. No, I'm sure somebody will see it. Whatever. So.
Wow, Mr. Urban World gives WandaVision a 6 out of 10.
Did you watch the whole series? Did you watch the whole thing? Because my mom ain't like it when the first couple episodes. She's like, I just can't get into it. I'm like, just keep watching.
Yeah,
I loved it because I love Lucy and like Bewitched.
I loved it all the way through. I thought it was amazing to me. So,
but if you're a person who didn't watch that stuff growing up, you probably.
But you know what else? Not even that. I feel like the thing about them is such a different than what you're used to seeing.
Yeah,
I feel like some people couldn't think outside the box. Falcon and Winter Soldier is so great. It's what you see. It's regular, whatever like that.
And then it didn't start. Oh, sorry, not to cut you off. Go ahead.
But I feel like WandaVision is a build up and it's so different, the whole world. So I feel like even what you're talking about, Mr. World, Titans, The Boys, they're more cut and dry. They're just like a hero, fights a villain. right? Blah blah blah. WandaVision has these like mental is this different or whatever. So
And it was a slow build up. Like you said, there was no action at all until like the fourth episode
correct.
versus Falcon Winter Soldier, the very first scene, they're like jumping off
Correct.
planes. So, you know.
Another reason why you need to watch Winter Soldier again.
Oh man, please let me know when you watch Talking to Winter Soldier. I mean, I'm sorry, Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Maybe we should do that as a mental theater watch party.
I would love it
in a long time.
I know, I would love that, bro. Like that movie is, oh man. Besides Endgame and Infinity War, I think that's my favorite one. So.
Wait, and Disney Plus has the watch along too.
We should do it. Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Like I'm telling you, that Winter Soldier, like there's like a meme going around, like about like him in that movie versus him now. When it like come with like the kick at the end of the show, and it's like what happens to Winter Soldier? It's like it's funny as hell, but it's good. So now he's like kind of like the Fall Soldier. He just kind of like a little softer, a little sweeter and stuff like that. So
he a little tame. He went to a therapist.
I understand.
To subdue his aggression. I think he's not done with his therapy work. Just saying. I think the next one
he gave her a little gift and said thank you already.
Yeah, he did. That was a thank you for this phase of my therapy. I think he gonna revert. I think because you know what? I think he is because remember in one of the scenes, spoiler alert, Zemo was like, "Oh, you got back into character pretty quick." he made a comment about that because he ain't done.
Well, just because he was fighting, I mean, I don't mean that.
Nah, he was like, "I see it in your eyes. You got back, you got back in that real quick for you to be in therapy, bro." So I think we're going to see more of the crazy one.
I mean, I feel like a lot of that healing was done in Wakanda, but that's just me. I think this has been a long time coming for Bucky for his story arc.
I mean, if you go back to, like you said, Josh, Captain America, the first Avenger, obviously that wasn't Bucky, you know what I mean, the Winter Soldier. But I just like him as the Winter Soldier.
Once a killer, always a killer.
Yeah, I mean, he was just a nice guy in the beginning. So.
You could put a lion in
just
the
like
cage.
Steve Rogers.
Put a lion in the cage. If he get hungry, he gonna eat. You feel me?
No, I think that was Hydra messing with his mentality.
I agree. I think it was, but I like him. I'm sorry.
Which is why we should watch so Chloe can get some context.
Yeah, I need to see. I want to see.
Yeah. So look, let's put that up. Whatever.
Not really.
Absolutely. And by the way, Mr. Urban World is apparently watching us in his theater in his VR device. By the way, put the link in the chat so we can watch Mr. Urban World. People can watch it later. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining. This had been a very fun conversation, even though we didn't have this guy.
I don't think that's gonna happen. Let's try. Oh yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
Because you can hear the crack in his back.
Snap, crackle, pop.
And it's the
right
grunt after the crack in the back.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, been fun.
All right, thank you, Mr. Urban World, for dominating the content.
Yes, sir.
Comments as always. I'm not the mod. Sure, you can.
Typing in the
chat. You can put the link in there.
Oh, he has a way. Hold on.
This is the way. Really? That's your way? That's not the way, Mr. Urban World.
That way looks a little short.
Why don't you DM Mike on Instagram? You can send him the link that way. He can send it to us.
Looks a little short, like your 4'8" stature.
DM me the link, Mr. Urban World.
All right, guys. Have a great weekend.
Kidding. Bye, guys.
Peace.
Let's go.